What's going on, everyone? Let me see here. My apologies for getting on late. All right, let me see this here. Make sure audio's good. All right, let's see here. Put that there. Let's go to here. Oops. What just happened? That's not what I wanted. Try that again. Put that like that. Copy. Let's see. All right, let's get rid of that. Put this up here. Let me see, put this way. Let's see, put the link up at the top so that anybody who wants to support the channel can do so at the top. What is going on, ladies and gents? I know you fine people out there this evening, or this morning, this afternoon, depending on where you're at. What's going on? Let me see. Put this on here. Get this on. I literally just ran in here, guys. It's been really busy this week. If you haven't noticed, I literally just got a video out just before getting on. So that just tells you how much I was like super busy. Managed to squeeze only the second one out, the video. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit though. But yeah, good to see everybody in there. Let me see. Let me do it this way. I don't know why I have top chat and live chat. Just do the live. Wouldn't it be much better? Tommy Bird, what's going on? Pete Ferrero's in there. Elaine Millard. Hi, Chris. Hope you and everyone are okay. I am doing well. Thank you, Elaine. William Barr says, Heidi ho, neighbor. What's going on, William? Oops. Well, we'll get this straightened out this way. It's better to do it this way anyway. What's going on there? Great for all. Good to see you there. Renee V. What's going on? Good to see you there. Mags K's in there. What's going on, Mags? John P. Adventures. Cheers, Ben. Cheers, Chris. Oh, cheers to you too, John. Good to see you there. Let me see. Leslie Ann Warren, thank you very much. Another supporter, always a supporter of the Super Chat. I do appreciate you. And because like I said, support comes in many ways, right? So I appreciate you. Thank you very much, Leslie Ann. I hope you're doing well. Let me see. Robert Morgan's in there. Yeah, Robert, there you go. Funny. I was the first one in today. I've been late. Yeah, I was actually, like I said, I got in here late myself because I just literally was firing up the other computer, which is not, it's not like this gaming computer where it's so much, this one's so much faster as opposed to that one. So it lags. So let's just say it doesn't boot up as fast. It's not the newest computer out there, but does very well, right? Eric Gower said, breaking the 72 Monte Carlo out of the storage next week. Nice. Nice. I don't remember, Eric, did you say there was the small block or big block in that? But yeah, I've always liked those. My brothers had the 71 and 72. Steve Graham, Garnham, I'm sorry. I want to say Graham for some reason. That's because there's somebody else in with a Graham last name, so my apologies, Steve Garnham. Hi, Chris. Be backing it out. All right, Steve. Thanks for being here, and thanks for popping in. Yeah, Mags, I agree with you. He said, Chris, great distraction from the world's woes. I totally agree. I just like to get away from all that, you know what I'm saying? William Barr, you're the first one to say hi. Well, yeah, of course. Mr. Ricardo Petrozzi, what's happening? Hello, just saw you are alive. Yeah. You are alive. I guess it's supposed to be that, but yeah, we are here, Ricardo. Thanks for being here, brother. Good to see you in there. And by the way, that request that you put on, let me see something too. Hold on, let's get this straightened out first. Well, we can do that after. Anyway, the request you made about on the Discord about having the final enhancements, we are going to do that. We're going to make a little page for that, and we are going to do that. So thanks for suggesting that. because I think it'd be cool. Like I'll do it within a day or two. Anybody can go up there and have a look at the enhanced. What I'll do is I'll put the original and with the link as well, and then put the enhanced photo so people can check it out for themselves, right? Although I do leave the links in the videos, still kind of good to do if you're up there and you're like, what do I got to do? Jump back to YouTube to get that. So we'll do both, which is good. So yeah, I caught that on there, Ricardo. So that's a pretty good suggestion. In fact, I think I talked about doing that anyway. Yeah, it was a while back. I think when I first, as it was mentioned at the channel. Well, not the channel. Well, we'll call it a channel. The channel's been open on Discord. So I'm glad everybody's been on there. I have yet to pop on there myself. Here's the deal right now. My job has gotten a whole lot busier, where they changed the hours a little bit. Where prior to just last week, right? It was like you'd come in at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And then, of course, you unload trucks and put it in the aisles and then put it on the shelves and everything else. But now they changed it to 5. So you got to get up at 5 in the morning in order to do your thing and then get to work. So, yeah, it's a little bit more challenging. You get a little more tired, too, by the end of the day. Because when you're all said and done, you're pretty much beat up. But on the other side of the token, it's like it kind of gives me, more chance to get out of work earlier. But you're going, yeah, okay, but I'm dead. No, but you're extremely tired. So it's kind of this weird trade-off. So what I'm trying to do is adapt to a little bit changing hours and a little bit more demanding work. So I'm that will change. Like I said, I only had the 2. I just squeezed the second video out this week just before coming on. So definitely. So yeah. So just bear with me on that, folks. Leslie Ann, you said, I'm alive, Chris, after the hospital. I'm glad to hear that. I hope hope everything went well, I should say, and that you heal or get better soon, right? It's never fun. It's never fun at all, and I don't wish that on anybody. Heck, like I said, I was in the hospital for 9 days just with that freaking COVID. Let me tell you something. I was like, please let me go home. Yeah, believe me, I feel you. You don't realize. I don't think anybody realizes how much they miss their daily lives. I don't care if it's kind of a humdrum or extremely busy, or whatever it may be, until they end up in the hospital or somewhere secluded where you're like, oh my God, we should get back home. So yeah, that's probably a big part of it too, So, and I'm sure you'd agree with that. Let me move this over here. So Chris Kringle, what's going on? He says, what's up, y'all? Not much, man. What's going on? And Happy Mars. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Doing good here. All right. Good to see you there, Happy Mars. Limey Watches in there. What's going on, Limey? And it just jumped on me. I love that. Let me see if I can go back to it and see if we can get it. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, again, you said hi, Chris, and all. Limey Watcher said that. Mimi Reacts is in there. Hello, Mimi. Good to see you in there. Alusta. Good night for everyone. What's going on, man? Good to see you in there. Been reading, Leslie Ann, you said, been reading UFO and conspiracy book. My helper filmmaker got COVID, so there's a delay. Well, I hear that. I can understand that too. Let's see. Let me get my audio up here a little bit. There we go. That might be here a bit better. Maybe. That sound all right, folks? Let me see. Cameron, what's happening? Good to see you in there, brother. Good to see you in there. Let me see. Josh D's in the house. What's going on? Say hi, Chris. Love the last vid. Not mind the debunkers. It means you are getting somewhere. Well, yeah, I mean, and I kind of didn't want to really do that, right? But I just happened to stumble back onto his video, and I said, oh, my God, how dishonest can you possibly be? But I just figured I'd, let you guys know there are people out there that are like that, right? Of that, they just, no matter how much you tell them, or like the old saying goes, you're going to lead a horse to water, doesn't matter. It's like, nope, la 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 la. Just put your hands over your eyes or over your face, over your ears. I don't hear or see nothing, but I'm willing to jam my opinion down your throat. I just don't want to hear anything you got to say. And that's the kind of attitude that these people, I even told them, research it, find this out for yourself. So this way you can make your own decision. But if you're not willing to do that, what's the point? And then you make a video trying to debunk somebody. That, like I said, it's like walking into your mechanic's place and say, oh, by the way, you're doing that, you're putting that intake plenum on wrong, and you don't have an ounce of mechanical abilities, or you're not a mechanic in any way, shape, or form. You probably get beat up out of the shop. But, it's just funny how people are willing to do that. And they're just going, you realize that these photos have been tinkered with and censored, and they're like this, they're just la la la, don't want to hear it. And that's what's crazy. That's what I find amusing at the same time. But it ticks you off at the same time too, right? I don't know. I think I said hi to Pete. What's going on, Pete Ferrero? Good to see you there. Oh, yeah, I love it. They just jumped in. Ricardo, thank you very much for your support, sir. As always a supporter of the channel and the super chat. I appreciate you. He said, I'm sure I speak for most, if not all of us, but this Hangout is a great end to the work week, especially if you had a shitty one. I agree. Mine has been super busy, and I'm like, and I kind of hate that because it's like I'd rather be doing these, to be truthful with you. Obviously, it's not physically demanding as opposed to actually going to work and doing that. And, after you've been working all your life, you feel like a little beat up after a while, and your body's going, can you, stop? It would be great. So it happens. Like I said, if I was making more money on this stuff, I'd quit the job, period. The problem with it is, like I said before, look at the numbers here. And it still hasn't even gone up, which is really crazy, right? Just about 67,000. And you might get what? 4,000 to 8,000 views on a video? What is going on? Like I said, and with the crazy other thing is that when I looked at the statistics, it said that it was like 35,000 views were like on total different, and this is not the ones that people were subscribed. This is the 35,000 views that they weren't subscribers. I'm going, I don't understand it. It's like, why watch the thing? And if you find it a little bit fascinating, there's got to be somebody of 35,000 viewers. They don't hit at least the, what do you call it, the thumbs up or the, just subscribe. I mean, hit the note. I don't understand it. Me, if I find something remotely interesting along the lines of stuff I like, I'm going to go, yeah, I'll sub to them. Then I'll keep checking back with them and say, wow, I really love this channel. I'll crapski. And then I'll just go ahead and stay subbed or not. But, 35 grand. 35 grand makes it sound like it's money. 35,000 not even subbed. I just don't understand it. It doesn't even cost anything to sub. You just go sub. It's that easy. I don't know. I don't know. Of course, we also know that YouTube plays games with channels, so we know how that goes too, right? And you guys seen this last week. Firsthand, you guys saw this, where you seen the thumbs up going up, and all of a sudden, brrr, at one point it was over 100, and it dropped down to like what, 40 something? You guys seen that? And it's like, what is going on here? Third Eye Open, good to see you in there. Hope you're doing well. Pete Ferrari said Biden prevents COVID from spreading by making the gas so high nobody travels. Ain't that the truth? But it seems like it's leveling off. I know in some states it's really not, but it's still like 409 here on the average. I mean, that's what pretty much it is here. I don't know what everybody else is, what they're paying, but yeah. So Chris Kringle says, checking in to see what's new. Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's always a lot of things going on. I'm sure you guys got things to talk about as well, right? Yeah. Andy Crowley, what's going on? Hold on. There we go. What's happening? Let me see. He said, hey, Chris from Toronto, did you see the latest from Dr. Michael Sala interview? No, I don't think I have. What was the topic about? Honestly, I haven't. John P. Adventure says, have a great night, Chris. And Martians. Hey, I guess we are the Martians, aren't we? Let's just be truthful. We are, actually. Sad thing about it. Nag Hammondy, what's going on? He said, evening. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Mr. Jean Ward's in the house, too. Good evening, Alusta saying. What's going on, Mr. Jean Ward? You know, this is crazy. I just got on there, and like I said, it was kind of late, so it's my fault again. But I got a hold of Will. This is probably, was it 45 minutes, maybe a half hour, roughly somewhere on there between there, that I asked him, hey, bro, are you home? You know, he's like, nah, man, I'm at work right now. He's actually coming home from work. He's in traffic on I-95. And I was just like, oh, are you kidding? So he says, yeah, I'll make it a point. He can work from home, too, because he's an IT guy. He said, just get a hold of me in the beginning, like at the beginning of the next week or whatever, and that we can have him on there. Like I said, folks, he's the guy that got me kind of started into all of this. So that's why I always give him kudos to that. And like I said, he's been on the other side of midnight with Richard Hoagland and stuff like that. He's like a, I don't know, co-radio host, if you will. So he's been around with Keith Laney and several others that were somewhat affiliated with NASA and stuff like that. So really, really interesting. And if you haven't seen it, it's What's Up in the Sky 37. And a lot of good stuff. He's now coming back to the channel his channel, and where he's taking like a hiatus because he was, he's having issues, personal stuff. And it's nothing with him, but, with the family and stuff. And he wants to make sure everything was cool with that. And so now he's coming back and he's starting to make these videos again. So, really, really cool. He's a good guy. I mean, really is. Robert Morgan says, smash the like button until it can't stand. Don't hurt it too bad now, folks. Oh, John Ward's got marshmallows. Sweet. Mark Lewis says, just got on. Great being back. Well, it's good to see you in there, Mark. Oh, I hear you. You know what really feels weird? Remember, because I did this last Hangout? It was last Wednesday. Not this Wednesday, obviously, but the last Wednesday. And it's like, it seems like it was like friggin' literally 2 weeks apart. And it's like, what the heck? So it actually felt good to get back on this evening. Patricia Robinson says, love your explanations. I appreciate it, Patricia. Well, you try to explain it the best way you can if you're talking about the videos themselves and, whether the topics we have on here. One thing I can, I'll tell you straight up, well, we don't know everything here, I don't think everybody truly does, but we try to put the whole puzzle piece together, put them all together and get your full puzzle, if you will. So yeah, we have a great time doing it, and it's something, it's a hobby and a passion of mine to get these videos out and show people what they've been missing or don't know about. Now, of course, a lot of folks now on the channel have gotten their own enhancing software and decided to do it themselves. And I'm glad that they do that, because just about all of them will say, Chris, I decided to take this photo because it's really wild. I decided to take a certain photo and put it into Photoshop, and I'll be darned if you weren't right. Some of them even say I found something even in addition to what you found, even more so. But sometimes I'll go into a photo and I won't do the whole thing. Sometimes I'll do the whole thing, but sometimes I'll do just like a spot, because prior to doing the video, I already found these things, so I'll just go ahead and enhance that area and then go ahead and make a video on it. So, yeah. So, but a lot of people are finding more stuff too. So kudos to everybody who's doing that themselves, because that's pretty much the name of the game. That's what I like, not only sharing these, but having people do that. It's like a payoff for me, and it does my heart good to see people getting into this stuff. Because like I said, it doesn't matter who you are, me or anybody else that's doing these particular videos, or, whether it be the moon, Mars, doesn't matter what it is. At some point we'll fade out and other people will have to take over. And, they need to grab the torch and be able to do the same thing and get the truth out and just keep at it. Because at some point they're going to give, and then it'll be like, it'll come to fruition. It's like, oh, wow, these people were telling the truth. They weren't like these tin foil hat people after all. Now, I know a lot of people still could be on the fence about certain things, and that's fine. It's called being a skeptic. Now, there's some people that are so far skeptical they won't believe a thing. And it's sad that it's like that, because I was like that at one time, but not to the point where I wouldn't open my mind. And this is the reason why I'm doing these videos now, right? I remember, like I said, when I first started doing this stuff, I was watching these videos going, really? These guys are out to lunch. I'm looking at it, but then I seen a couple things in these rocks, and I said, okay, that doesn't look natural. So I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it, watching the video play, and I'm going, okay, no, I'm not seeing that. But like I said, then what caught my eye was these lines. There were underlying lines, like through these rocks and through these hillsides and everything. I'm going, that doesn't make sense. So it took a transitional period for me to get my mind to adapt and say, okay, let's find out what this stuff really is. So a while back, I asked my buddy, hey, you got a copy of that Photoshop? I want to check it out. And of course he did. And I ran with it since. There you go, right? So. William Johnson, what's happening? He says, hey, Chris, what do you say? Not much, man. Hope you're doing well. It's a busy week. And here's the thing, too. It's like working back on Saturday again. So I'm in the same boat as a lot of you folks. And some of you folks have the weekend off. That's one thing I hated. I always hated a job you had to work on the weekend. But it brings in the old money. You know what I'm saying? But my first passion, I'd rather be doing this. You know? But again, if you're going to bank on this, you've got to have a steady flow of income too, right? What's going on there, Mr. Kurtabanis? What is happening? William Barry said, yeah, certainly we are all aliens, enjoy the mountains and water, are terrestrial, enjoy the experience. Yeah, I mean, like I said, our bodies are more tuned to Mars. So, and then they found this out. A lot of scientists have been kind of agreeing with that, and of course some won't. Yeah, just a day period instead of the 24 hours. We got 24 hours and 39 minutes, I think, on Mars. Gravity's a little less, well, a lot less, but we don't know what it was like back then. And so it was more friendlier to our bodies, if you will. So, yeah. Ricardo Petra, I don't know why this says it was helpful review. That's weird. Anyway, Ricardo, you put on there, there could be a fine line between cynical and skeptical, and then there's plain stubborn idiots. Well, yeah. You know, and even stubborn people don't even bother me because I like a good, healthy skeptic. I really do. But I've also turned skeptics around, where they said, man, you know, I thought you were so full of crap when I first started off, but then as you showed me more and more, and I started to look these over myself, that's when I discovered this guy's onto something. And then they decided to take off with it with themselves. And when they did, they were just like, I can't believe it. I'm seeing the same things and some things that are a little bit more different or more in addition to what I've seen. So, and that's key, right? And I'm like, yes. So it's not about so much, the thrill is not so much changing their minds, which although it is, but it's the fact that they're looking it up themselves. I've done my job. That's all I care. Just open your eyes. Miss Claire Mead, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Pete Ferrer said, wow, my chat went to 0. Really? That's what I'm saying. This is just bizarre. Alien Hunting Dragon, what's going on? Good to see you in there. You haven't been in there a while. Good to see you back in there. Matt Patterson says, hey guys, what's up? Not a whole lot, Pat. What are you doing? Matt, sorry, because I combined the two. Pat, Matt. Pat and Matt. Anyway, Matt, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Hold on. This thing did jump at me, didn't it? Yeah, it did. Okay. Great for all. I agree with you totally. You said I would love to see just one genuine Mars photo before I die. I totally agree with you, man. I would love to see that. Yeah, I thought the same thing, Ricardo. I haven't seen her either. She says, I have not seen Miss Heard, or Heard, actually. I keep saying Heard, but she corrected me a couple of times and said it's Heard. For many weeks. Hope she is okay. Yeah, I agree with you. It's been a while since I've seen her on there as well. Hope she is doing okay. General Mutant. Meow Putin. I am retired Army, and the government pays for me to be here. Shh, just don't tell them the information. Shh. I'll pay you not to tell them. How's that sound? Eileen Millard says, I run a Discord on PC. Can you put the link to your Discord channel for us and everyone else that wants it? Yeah, we can do that. Hold on a second. Let me just do this. Go here. We can do that. I'll put a little invite in there. You just get the page up for you folks. I'll sign into it myself. Definitely want to jump on this thing. Just do a random pop in there, see what's going on with everybody. And our moderator, she's doing pretty well in there. Got to give her kudos for that. I know a couple of you friends have done that yourselves. A couple of you guys have said that yourselves, rather. Invite. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but it just, all right, let me see if I can't do this. All right. See if she'll paste it this way. Okay. Here is the link right there, folks. Grab the link. That is the new Discord link, because it does change. You can actually tick a box and it says, make this link basically last forever. And for some reason, you can get on there and it'll be different. You're like, okay. So yeah, jump on there, check it out. And that's, like I said, the Discord link. Oh, okay, John. Well, you said misheard is okay. She commented on one of my videos. Was that just a recent one? Yeah, like I said, because I haven't seen her. She'll pop in there periodically, but I guess sometimes maybe she gets busy on evenings. And folks, somebody did say to me, Chris, can you do the Hangout a little earlier? But I didn't get in here earlier because I know you guys still have that time differential where you haven't gotten to your clock change yet. And what is that? Is it supposed to be the end of the month, you folks? Was somebody say 27th and 28th of this month, or was it? Am I wrong? When are you guys supposed to be changing over in Europe? Because I would have done that, but like I said, I got in here late myself, and I would love to have started earlier. William Barr, General, you mean we pay for you to be here? Same with me, taxpayers. Without us, the government has no money. Yeah, go Army. Kyle, is it raining over your area? You said 62 here. You're talking to Pete. We're still at 71 degrees here, but it's forecasting rain here. Said something about thunderstorms this morning. So I don't know. Renee V said, title for those who have not yet looked at Jean Ward's channel, watch or subscribe to. One, the best detectives latest video, Jean, a 3D render, possible Mayan Inca. Yeah, I seen that myself. Yeah, I mean, if you folks haven't checked out Jean Ward, you can see it right there. Jean Ward is his channel, his name itself. Go to his channel, check it out. Like I said, we do on the ground. He does satellite. You need to check that out. And like I said, just subscribe to him. Hit the subscribe. Hit the notification bell on his channel. You'll love the channel. It's because I love the idea you can have like ground as well as satellite. Now, we got to Jean and I both have to get together and try to do like a certain area and see if we can find it. Something tells me, sneaky suspicion, that we're not going to be able to do that. I'm going to tell you why. It's just like I did my last video talking about that other airhead where he was saying, oh, I'm looking at LROC photos and I don't see what you see in these Apollo photos. That's right. You're not going to. Well, then again, he believes that they wouldn't, mess with these photos. The government would never lie, of course. So you probably wouldn't find that in the same spot. In other words, he finds fantastic things in his photos. Of course, I'm talking about Jean. But would they actually correspond with each other? Something tells me they won't. because if you're in that area, chances are they're not going to let you see it. They're going to hide it, of course, right? And like I said, I've looked at the, when it comes to the moon, I've looked at the LROC photos, and I've looked at the ground photos. Totally different. Totally different. You know, right off the bat, whether you didn't watch one of my videos, you should be saying, okay, just that alone is a discrepancy. In other words, if they looked at the Apollo missions and then looked at the LROC photos in that same very same area, you should look down. You should see exact same features on the ground as you do, you know, in the Apollo photos, and that's not the case. I've done this myself. But the other person believes that, oh, no, you know, you're wrong. Okay. But they won't even bother to do the research. That's what's comical, right? I think it's funny. Let me see. Yeah, exactly, Ricardo. He said, definitely, Chris, a true skeptic has an open mind. Absolutely. What was the one I go by here? Hold on. Which I still got to get mine up there, too. Any kind of merch or anything like that. Let me go back down here. It's just going to jump on me anyway, but let's see. There you go, John. Good way to look at it. You said, I'm the drone and you're the rover. Pretty much, right? That's what it comes down to. Oh, okay, Kyle. You said 62 on the chat, you said, but it's actually 65 here and rain on the way. That's what I'm hearing, too. Yeah, Renee, I literally just posted that, so I don't blame you guys for not being able to see the video. I just literally posted it. It's not very long. I think it's like 10. I actually had to, this is where it really gets weird. The computer went kind of stupid on me. So it somehow, I don't know if it took a section out of there, because I'm going, I remember it being longer than that. So you'll notice at the end of the video, I actually just filled it in, like just a blank, it's just black at the end. I put in the original photo, then the enhanced, and then I put my other intro that I used to put in, and then I just got like black after it, because I had to fill in just to get to 10, a little over 10 minutes. So I said, I don't know what the heck happened, but whatever the reason is, regardless, we'll get the video up. So that's why it might seem a little weird when you kind of, you know, it's one thing to bounce around a little bit, but that one there, you'll see like it seemed like something was taken out of it. So yeah, I did the best I could to, you know, make sure it was okay. But yeah, it's just weird things go on, man. If it's not something that's going on with the live feed, then it's something going on with the computer and whatever. It's just, I'm sure it's coincidental, right? But never can tell. Marcel, what's going on? You said last Sunday in March. Uh-huh. Senior and sometimes junior says, any news, or question was, any news on the Chinese rover studying the structure on the moon? Haven't heard a thing. Anybody else have? Like I said, they'll post like a couple photos, and they might put like a small story online. Then you don't hear a thing for a long time after that. I don't know if anybody else has heard anything, you know, about it, but I haven't. Jean, you said, Ms. Hurd says she is really busy. Well, that's kind of good in a way. I hope in a good way, but you know, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, exactly what I was saying, Ricardo. You said there has been a few, if any, you said there have been few, if any, ground-based images from rovers that can be matched to satellite images, which is true. At least in my research, it's hard to find the exact same area. Now, you can do that with the moon, but like I said, there's huge discrepancies. You can find good-size craters that look similar to the Apollo, but everything in between or inside, you don't see. And it's like, yeah, because I'm sure they want to just broadcast what's in and around these craters. They're not going to do that, folks. Come on. You know, they're going to do their best to hide it, but some people just absolutely hell-bent and say, oh, no, 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 they wouldn't lie, they wouldn't lie. Okay. Leslie Ann, you said cold hair, Chris. Very, but the amazing moon. I've seen that. That thing is huge, right? Gave me a display, and I got my face in the Photoshop. Remember more than that. NASA bases in the 60s, 70s. My time and what Dad and Granddad told them. Yeah, I mean, I was just watching another video too, and I don't remember what channel it was now, but they were talking about. It's really, really good channel. Very well put together. They were talking about a lot of the Soviet Union at the time, which had they're talking about moon bases and stuff, and this was happening in the late 50s, early 60s, that supposedly they put a base on the moon. And I don't put it past them, because they had to have test runs at some point. So, you know, to be able to fly the rockets, test the rockets, all that stuff. Of course, you do that here on Earth, and of course, you get out to orbit. And then, of course, you have a crash land, so you can have this idea what's going to happen to the rocket, or how you're going to re-entry it, and then, of course, have it go into the big drink. So whatever ocean it is, right? So yeah, I find it pretty cool that they did that. And of course, it just segued into, you know, the Apollo mission, so on and so forth. But this has been going on for a long time. You could bet the second they could make a good rocket that would stay together on the launch pad, that they already tried going to the moon then. I don't care if it was in the 40s. You can bet somehow they tried to get there, right? Mimi Reacts, you said you hear nothing about the moon rocket anymore. Yeah, that's it, done. It's just crashed into the moon. That was pretty much it. Let me see. Let me do this here a minute. Okay. Get rid of that. I'm going to check something here too. I'm going to give you guys this link as well. Somebody was just asking me about this. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to send this up to you folks. This is on, I don't know if you're familiar with Odyssey, but Odyssey, this also automatically goes up there. So in other words, I make a video here on YouTube, automatically goes to Odyssey. Just make an account, and of course you can get on there, and you can check it out yourself. It's Mars Anomalies and Beyond. And there is the link. I just posted it. You can check it out. And guess what? The photos are clear, or the videos, I should say, are clearer on Odyssey and not so compressed like it is here on YouTube. So, you know, you can check it out either one, right? And the reason why I'm doing that as well, let's say this went down or they shut me down, I already got a count up there, I would just automatically just stop making videos up there and just be done with this YouTube. Because like I said, it's very frustrating how, you know, you can have this many subscribers and only have 4,000 to 8,000 viewers. It just simply makes no sense at all. Yeah, I was just reading. Honestly, Ricardo, I just started reading that. They were saying something about they just flown some cosmonauts up to the ISS, and it was, I think they said it was the first crew that was all cosmonauts, in other words, all Russian astronauts. So I just really looked at that too, just briefly. And I was just like, what the heck? And in fact, it may still be on, like I got space.com open up too, and we're going to check out some of the space news that they have here, or there on that page, so we'll check that out. But it seemed to me they were just literally flying them up to either the space station or some other station, but probably, I'm sure it's the ISS, but either way you look at it, it's just like, okay. It's like, I don't know, some people are like, oh man, the hell with them and all this other. I'm going, come on, man. It's like saying, you know, you can have bad people in any country. It doesn't mean the public themselves or the people of that country are complete trash. So, you know, I wouldn't, you know, fault them for their president or their leaders, you know, stupidity. I mean, you know, I wouldn't fault them for that. Jamie Morton says, what a time to be alive. Yeah, but like everybody's been saying, it's like we'd love to see like a really good photo, untouched, either from the moon or from Mars, and really see the real deal. We only get to see bits and pieces of, although I find those exciting, it's still bits and pieces, and you'd love to be able to see the whole thing and what that really looks like. I'll bet that's like, you'd probably be staring at it like in awe, like what is going on there? Either one, moon or Mars, right? Let me see where this thing went here. Okay. Yeah, Ricardo, yeah, check it out if you haven't. You said I try to watch the videos on Odyssey also. Yeah, if you try it on, you'll see it's clearer. I would say it's at least 20-30% clearer. Like I said, and the reason why I picked that is, like I said, if this goes bogus and I just had enough, I'll just go up there and basically they can kiss my backside because it's not right, especially if they're making money off each channel. Then they should be offering them money as well and not be playing with their numbers. That's the way I look at it. It gets frustrating. It really does. Exactly, Ricardo, too. I agree with you. He says, good to know, excuse me, we can still be civil and humane to each other regardless of our the other strife. Yeah, exactly. You know, I don't. It's like a certain person, a color, or genre. I wouldn't damn the whole other rest of them because of one fault of one, right? Like they say, you know, the many outweigh the, you know, the needs of the few, or just them. Period. Yeah. General Meow Putin, NASA, never a straight answer. Leslie Andy said, I will look at that, Chris, in the future. I'm stuck on my film program. Oh, no, I mean, but let me know. I don't know if you want to just be called Leslie or Leslie Ann, depending on what you want. But, yeah, let me know when you do get that on there, because, like I said, I've been telling, you know, periodically people to jump on the channel. But we'll just actually, when you do that, we'll just drop the link right here, and I can also drop the link and give you a shout-out in a video to help it, you know, move it along, too, and so people can check out your work, right? So, yeah, it'd be awesome to see it. Eric Gower says, much clearer on Odyssey. It is. That's just what's really crazy. Here's the funny part. I can go on, I can do my video. It's right here on my computer. Edit it. And it looks pretty darn good. Get up there, I'm going, why is it so fuzzy? It's just weird. It doesn't do that on my computer. But when you get up there, it's not as, even though it's in 1080p, it still looks like garbage compared to my video. So when you guys see that, even if you're going, wow, it looks pretty good, it's trash. It's compressed. And like I said, what would you say, Eric? Is it about 20-30% better? Or am I off on the percentage? It's actually pretty darn good. I looked it up there and went, what the hell? Why is there such a big difference? Oops. Ralph Franco, you say, hey, Chris, this channel on YouTube called Mr. Daniels, is that fake? Yes, absolutely. Because I think I answered your question on there. You asked the same thing. Mr. Daniels, that channel is complete hoax garbage. Completely fake. I saw one, I went, I recognize one of the structures that he's got on there, and it's like plain as day, and it's from India. It was just crazy. I said, oh my God. I don't know what it is with these channels that are popping up everywhere. It's like they're just trying to discredit the work that like I do and other channels that are similar to mine do. Oh my God, it's sad. And like I said, I've gotten on there a couple of times and said, hey, why are you putting this disinformation out? I said, can you please give me the exact link, the NASA official link? Never hear another thing from them at all. So what's that tell you? And like I said, on one of the videos, I pretty much repeated myself, and I wasn't being mean. I just said, just stop doing that. It's not right. I said, if this is real, of course I know it's not, but if it's real, please give me the official NASA link. I won't do it, because that's how you know it's bogus. I will believe a channel much more if they give me the actual official link, because you don't know where he's pulled it out of. It probably is rear end, of course, but you know as well as I do, bogus. Come on. You've seen the things. Was it, yeah, Ralph. I was going to say, Woody Clone 2 said it. But Ralph, you know as well as I do. You look at it, you must have went, wow, these are fantastic photos. Look at the stuff this guy's bringing up. Never going to happen. Don't you think we'd be putting those out first? Think about it. I mean, we scour these photos. You can ask Jean here. We scour these photos left and right. If there was like a plain as day structure sitting right there, and we would have already put those on a long time ago. And of course, you know as well as I do that NASA's not going to admit that. They're not going to put that out. So that's how you know the channel's completely bogus. And it's probably, I think there's like 5 or 6 of those. Complete trash. They do the same thing. You know the old saying, if it looks too good to be true, it is? There you go. Because believe me, we would have been putting those photos out long before you ever would have seen that channel. No, that's both fake, because you said, is that fake pictures of Mars with structures or real? No, they're absolutely fake. There's a bunch that have been head shaking. Mr. Daniels, yeah, exactly, totally bogus. Yeah, somebody told me to check out Rumble, Ricardo. I have to check that out. I like that. I knew the live streaming would be today because it was not on Wednesday. Yeah. Pat S., what's going on? You said, your question was, think the aliens will intervene if Putin tries to use nuclear weapons? Now, it's funny you asked that, because did anybody else see that video they showed, like, in the skies over Ukraine? It looked like there's UFOs. I don't know how real they were. I took a quick glance at it, saw something like flying in the sky, and it wasn't anything like a regular airplane, right? You didn't see any strobes or anything else like on it. And it was literally just hovering in the sky, just sitting there, and then you'd see it move. There's no spotlights coming from like a helicopter or any of that sort, right? It wouldn't surprise me if these things are, out there saying, okay, enough is enough. I think the worst mistake Putin can do is use a bomb. That's, I'm not saying regular bombs, because clearly he's been using those. I'm saying even try to reach for that nuclear button. And that's the worst mistake he can make. Nobody in the world is going to tolerate it. NATO's going to be all over him. That's not something you want to do. And, it's unfortunate because there's a lot of good people in Russia. There's a lot of good people, civilians, right? And a lot of them disagree with him. They're just like, it's not right, stop the wars, blah, 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 blah. It's sad that in this day and age that 2 men from each country, or, 1 from each, obviously, but I mean, can't get together and have a conversation. Say, what is our differences? Let's work them out. It's like 2 people in a schoolyard. They just got to duke it out. It's like, for what reason? 99% of the time, it's absolute bogus reasons why they're doing that. So you're telling me in this day and age we can't just sit down and have good talks and say, okay, let's put the kibosh before this escalates. Doesn't happen. So, it's kind of like back in the day, like all the Civil War happened here in the United States and all this other stuff. People are like, well, I believe in the South is going to rise again. Well, I believe the North is going to dominate. Why does it matter? We're all Americans here. That's the whole point. If they say, oh, you a Yankee or you from down south and, whatever, I go, no, I'm an American. First and foremost. Yeah, I'm an American. I don't believe in that trash, and I wouldn't have approved of it back then, the wars. So just because our leaders are doing this and this conquer and divide kind of thing, it's even been happening way back then, is that, it's just complete bogus. It's all about the leaders. Oh, okay. Robert, you said Rumble sucks. That's what I've heard from many creators. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing both sides, so I guess some of them are okay, and then some of them, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? They don't care, right? Um, yeah, Ricardo. Yeah, I was reading a little bit about that. I don't know all the ins and outs to it, but I know enough to kind of like slide by. And thankfully, I've got the moderator that does pretty much that because and she's done her own as well. So it's kind of good that she just goes in there, does her thing, does a fantastic job. Because you said if the Discord server is boosted to the right level, you can live stream on Discord on 1080p. But then folks have to be using the same app to participate. Exactly. Yep. Which is fine because you either sign up for it and now you're on your computer or you got the app itself on your phone, right? Troy Stairwell. He said the movie Dune in its premise somewhat reminds me of Our Moon. I just see some similarity. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Yep. John Ward, you said mutually assured destruction. Yep. General Mutant, I want to say mutant. It's not mutant. Meow, meow Putin. No outcry when NATO bombed Libya and ousted Gaddafi. Well, here's the one thing I always, and I know you guys are in this on this well. We hear from the media, right? How many times have you heard later on that that wasn't the story at all? And I'm not talking about that one particular one you just said. Like I heard that there was something about the Ukraine where what the leader from Ukraine is blaming Putin for doing, he's actually done to his own country, and back and forth. Now, I only heard that today. That doesn't mean I believe it. I'm simply saying that every time we get the story, it's bits and pieces of trash. Now, this is the reason I try to bounce and try to listen to like Russia Today and all these other channels, French channels, all of these other channels around the world, because you want to get basically consensus of what is really going on. And you never know entirely everything, right? It's kind of like when you hear about, speaking of fighting, you can hear about a fist fight in a school and say, one guy that story thing, and people tell a story, and by the time it gets to the end, it's completely different. It's like, what happened to John and Pete? Well, John punched him in the face because he took his lunch or something. That's not what happened. By the time it turns around, it's totally different. And people go, where did you hear that story? No, he was trying to hit on his girlfriend, so he gave him a beating. I mean, so we really truly don't know the whole story to all of this. And I've known, because I've done this myself, where I'm trying to piece it together. Different stories, and you go, why is that one so much different than the story they're telling on this side? So I don't think we ever truly know all the ins and outs of these stories to begin with, right? Oops. Colin Barry, the art wizard, what's going on? You said I can't get how long it's taking to send arms to Ukraine. Yeah. I mean, you want to at least even the field a little bit, right? At least let the country protect itself, whether right, wrong, or indifferent, right? You should at least, there goes that cover. You got to at least give them a shot, meaning help them out a little bit. Oh, there we go. Goat Squeezy said, we can be brothers and wear our different colors too. That's true. I mean, it's all about just getting along. How come mankind can't do that? It's about resources. At first we think that, then it's something else. It's like, I don't get it. It should be like when you think about the old Amish country, right? Now it's changed over the years, but if you go back to the way they would live in their communities, they'd done everything to help each other, and if there was a problem with one particular person, they all straightened them out. So why can't people just do that today? And just think if every country got together and said, by the way, we're going to do one big space program, okay? Think about how cool that would be. Think about the size of the spaceship that every country could get together and build. We wouldn't be here right now. We'd be spacefaring. We'd be out. We'd already have a colony on Mars back in the 70s. We'd be all set. You know, be going back and forth by now. Nah, can't have that. I strongly believe that we'd be actually colonizing Mars already and be going back and forth. And even if we didn't back then, we would still be at least pretty close to doing that right now, meaning it's already a base on Mars and we're just traveling back and forth. We're just starting to do that. Although it's coming around the corner within the next 10 years, I guess. But to me, I don't get it. I really don't. It's sad in this day and age we just can't get along. You think all of this old crap would have been over a long time ago. Carmine, what's going on? He said, U.S. politicians want the conflict to escalate to further distract from the economic problems Biden created. Well, it's not even just that. I mean, it's like, it's almost like it's a cover for something much larger, right? So if you're focused on war, you don't see anything else that's going on. And it doesn't even have to be the war. It could be something else. You know, I don't know. I'm just astounded we haven't learned better yet. Ricardo said, Odyssey does not support monetization or super chats. Well, I mean, it's like, you know, but they do give some kind of weird coin type thing, don't they? On the Odyssey itself. I'm not even 100% familiar with that. I signed up to it, and of course I just exported all, or I should say imported all my videos onto that. It automatically copies all your videos, and then, you know, it puts it up there. So anytime I put one on here on YouTube, it automatically goes up there. So even if they said, okay, we're shutting your channel down for whatever reason, that's fine. I'll continue to upload videos up there. I don't care. You know, I got an account up there, so I don't give a crap. But they have this weird, like, and I don't even, to be truthful, I don't even know how to, it's like you earn so much, and I've never moved anything around or coins or whatever the heck they do up there. They said, if you take this money out, which I never chose to do, but if you take this particular money out or whatever it is, then it's almost like your money pays to advertise your channel, if that makes sense. It's just really weird. I'm not even sure how it works. I never sat down really enough and scrutinized it, right? Yeah, hold on. No, I haven't seen that, Elaine. You said, anyone else see all of the fake news stories that show Ukraine damages? Turns out when you use app lens, those same images are from films, other conflicts past, even the gas explosion reported by MSN as... Really? Huh, I haven't seen that. Cardi said, Ukraine is not squeaky clean by all means, but acknowledging that that does not make you a Putin sympathizer. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yogstra78, what's going on? He said, need to get spacefaring to avoid these disastrous cycles. Totally agree with you. Well, this is the reason why Elon wants to do that, right? Elon Musk. I was watching one other channel and everybody's like dogging Elon. I said, don't go there. This guy is brilliant. Now, whether people believe in what he's doing or how he's going about is a whole different story, right? But the guy's brilliant. He's very smart, very intelligent, talking about how he believes it's probably aliens, but he thinks that they may be so far off or whatever. And like I said, you'd have to be a half-wit to believe that there wouldn't. Or there is no aliens out there or other civilizations. I hate to use the term aliens, but they would be alien to us. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. But we definitely need to become spacefaring. We definitely need to be doing that. That's a fact. Jeffrey Eaton, you said if you looked at Trump, if you like Trump or dislike Trump, you probably realize that Putin never would have made a move on Ukraine if Trump wasn't. I agree with you. I don't think that would have happened. I know there was that weird scandal thing where they said, well, they were in cahoots and all this. Listen, I could give a darn. This is what I tell people. Like or hate whatever president's in. Means nothing to me. What I want to know is if he's doing the right thing. Now, do some of these presidents shoot their mouth off when they're not supposed to? Of course. I don't care. As long as you're running the country, getting the economy rolling, doing things for the people. Trump wanted to make sure our forces were, more modernized and beefed up and so on and so forth. He wanted to make sure everything was fine and our military was strong, but he was working for the people. Again, did he shoot his mouth off a lot? Was he a clown at times? Yes. But he still got things done. And I agree with you, he probably would have never made that move. I guarantee it. It would have been worked out prior to that even escalating because, Trump would have talked to him and said, man, you can't be doing that, man. Come on now. And they probably would have been fine with it. Paul Lovelace says, no-fly zone would result in all-out war. You think so? I mean, they just don't want to fly. If I remember that correctly, they just don't want to fly over Ukraine airspace, right? If they would just stop that, here's my thing. Like I said, I don't care about what started this or who's right or wrong. I care about the civilians. They shouldn't be paying the price. Now, even though they're rallying behind their leader, if they believe they're right or wrong, obviously they're not going to believe him, or rally against them or with them rather, if they're wrong. But if they are rallying for him, I'm going, that's not a good idea because I think war period is wrong. Now, if you're being attacked period for no reason whatsoever, and they just go, we just want your land, then you have a right to fight, for your land, no matter what it takes. But, of course, you got to worry about your surrounding countries and people as well, right? So it's very, very, volatile situation. Elaine, you said, and put people in who won't profit via conflicts and interest and give backhanded to mates and family. Yeah. Yep. What's going on, Oliver Klein? Good to see you in there. Scourge, 1971. What's happening? We've probably had colonies on Mars since the 1960s. Guarantee it. I mean, well, not guarantee it. I shouldn't say that. But I can almost bet that we've already been messing with rocketry and, like I said, anti-gravitics back in the 40s. This is a fact. You can look it up. You can bet they've got it, patented perfectly well. It works fine. And they're going back and forth to Mars with ease. So you can build, even if you don't build a very large spacecraft to get stuff over to Mars, you can just make a bunch of runs. You don't have to worry about it. It's not like we're burning a lot of fuel. It's anti-gravitics, for crying out loud. So you can literally go back and forth with ease and it takes you like, maybe a day or two or minutes as opposed to, it used to be, 9 months? Now it's like 7 months. At least they claim that. Through regular standard rocketry. So if they're going back and forth within minutes as opposed to months, come on. No problem whatsoever. And it's probably, can you imagine, just picture that if that is entirely true, right? If it's true, can you imagine just, whoosh, and you're there within 30 minutes. And you get there and you're now getting into Martian orbit and you're going down to land and bringing more supplies and just how weird and how cool that would be at the same time, right? What's going on there, Alfie Joe Bob? Good to see you in there. What is happening? Exactly, John. You were talking to Oliver, but you said it's like there's always has to be a good cop and bad cop. So predictable. That's a fact. Now, General Putin, let's be nice. Let's all get along. I know you're talking to Marina. I see what she said as well. And by the way, good evening, Marina. Good to see you in there. See, I don't know if I would have jumped to the brainwash thing, because I don't believe she's saying that. She's just saying you haven't read all the documents. And it's just like I was saying earlier, we can know our presidents and your leader as well, pretty well. And you would even say, I do. I know them pretty well. But do you know exactly what sparked each of this off? We can only go by mainstream what we're being told. And a lot of times we won't hear the entire story of how this even sparked. We have no idea. It could be as simple as just a normal mundane thing like, well, they're after the oil fields again. Or, like if you go to the, these other three countries which always fight over a certain religious part of the land. We know what that's about. It's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. So we know what that's about, right? So we understand that. But when there's something out of the blue, we don't know what sparked it off. We may have a general idea what it is, but that doesn't mean we know it all. And that's pretty much what she's saying. And I also agree with you, too. I wouldn't use the term brainwashed unless, of course, you just follow strictly the mainstream news, right? Some people prefer more different news channels over others. I just try to listen to all over the world, whether it's shortwave radio, whether it's through apps on my phone or my TV. I can watch different things. So I'm open-minded to what happens. I don't consider myself brainwashed because I want to know what's going on, right? But at the same time, you got to be skeptical too, right? Because just because you may be backing your leader doesn't mean that he's right. Or he could be. Could be 100% right. Youngster78 says, think it's for that what the sun's up to and the bad harvest we'll get this year, we'll blame it on the war. Well, unfortunately, these countries that are at war, and it doesn't matter, it could be these two countries, any other two countries, but the problem is it's the exports that you get out of the country that hurt you, whether it be grains, whatever it may be, it hurts another country in other parts of the world. And unfortunately, it's like a casualty of war, so to speak. But like I said, I don't think there's any bigger casualty than civilians. I just don't think it's right. D Tubman, what's going on? It's Happy Friday, everyone. What's going on, man? What's going on, D? Good to see you in there. Jeffrey Eaton, he said, what we are being told is not the truth. That's 100% true. Yeah, I never say I understand everything because I don't. Well, it's not unless you're being told the truth, you'll understand it and process it. But unless well, here's a perfect example. If we talk about NASA lying, we're saying, well, I believe everything. Now, be honest. Before you started watching any of these videos, it could be any videos, you started watching them, and, you said, at first, prior to that, you were like, oh, NASA, I love NASA, they're great, and, they're showing us what's going on. Then you realize, you go, okay, I'm seeing something a little weird. I wonder if anybody else has seen this. And, of course, you start checking out on YouTube, and you see all these crazy, and you go, wait a minute. This person's talking about the same stuff I'm having doubts about. What's going on here? And that's the whole point. Our freaking military is controlling our space agency, at least here, the DOD. So you have to question that. What the hell what are they involved for? It's just a rover up there just taking friendly pictures of dust and rock, right? Why do we have to have the military involved? Think about this. And that's what most people don't understand. So if you think they're going to lie, do you think our government's going to be straight up with the people? Come on. You have to be foolish to believe that. Matthew Luce, what's going on? You say hello, everyone. Hi, Chris. Awesome videos this past week. As usual, brother. Hope everyone is doing well out there. We are doing well, Matthew. I hope you're doing good. Good to see you in there, man. Party on. Josh D says, sorry if I was off a bit to get some info. Oh, you're fine. Leslie Ann, you said, Ben in that, LOL. Daddy and granddad too strong for brainwashing. Well, I call somebody brainwashing if they don't try to expand their mind. In other words, you know, look around. If somebody tells you something that you go, wow, it's mind-boggling, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's here on Earth, Moon, Mars, politics, religion. You know, if people tell you something and you go, listen, I don't want to believe it, I'm done. But if the curiosity gets the best of you and you say, I'm going to broaden my mind, doesn't mean you're going to take in the garbage, doesn't mean you're going to, you know, like you're going to believe just the stupidest thing out there, but you want to check it and research it yourself. Then you should do that, then come to the conclusion. You don't just go, no, it's straight and cut. It's never straight and cut. Clearly it's not. Just no way around it. Jamie Morton, he said, people backed Iraq, Afghanistan, look how that turned out. There you go. I mean, for whatever reason, like I said, it's always civilians that pay the price. Like I said, you got two grown men can't get along for whatever reason, and yet the civilians got to pay for it in one form or another, either with their lives or through economics. You know what I mean? Look what's happening around the world because of some of this. You know, whether it be food shortages, gas hikes, call it what you will. I'm not a big fan of war at all. Never have been. Well, I mean, it's a great question, General Meow Putin. You said, how can anyone support the USA and Europe sanctioning all Russians? I agree with you. It hurts the people, correct? Okay, but here's the thing. Would you rather have them go to war with Russia, or would you rather have them put sanctions on them to tell them, this is the way we can... I don't know if I want to use the term choke them off because it's kind of a weird term, but the point is they're saying, listen, stop, or we're just not going to send anything to your country. I would rather not see any more lives lost than to see lives lost. How do you feel about that? I agree with you what you're saying. I'm just saying, but what is the best solution to get them to stop? I don't think more war is the answer. You know what I mean? Goat Squeeze said, U.S. Navy has refitted a submarine with electrogravitics, and been into space with it. Was also the Boeing flux liners that were electrogravitics from the 1950s. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I've heard of electrogravitics. I don't know about the actual submarine thing. I haven't heard about that. Well, that's what I was just saying, Youngster 78. He said Ukraine is a big agricultural supplier, like bread basket of Europe. Well, I mean, but they're a supplier of wheat and stuff like that. So was Russia, of course, too. So, you know, it's not helping anyone here. Max K said Mars isn't really red. That's true. Do they have dust storms that have that like rust color? Absolutely, but that's not really red. Well, Pete, you make a great point. He said China or Russia in space program can only mean one thing: beat the U.S. rather to Mars in space superiority. And sadly, it may be like that. It's kind of like the Soviet Union back in the day, as well as the United States. Now, it was all about who can be out in space more, who can actually conquer more things, or was it because of that? Like I said, I think they all wanted to go up there for that reason, not to go out in space and orbit, because we already know they put Sputnik up there. So who beat them to it? There you go. And I applaud the what do you call it? The Soviet Union for doing so. Okay, fantastic, and I applaud anybody who's got the technology to do that. But it wasn't just to put something out in space; it was up on the moon. They saw something up there and said, "Hey, this don't look right." They probably got wind. Whoever got wind of it first, and then said, "Hey, follow. Let's go do our own thing." So again, we go up there. The Soviet Union had the Lunokhod rover, and we had, of course, the Apollo missions. Okay, so we're both up there looking at this stuff. It wasn't about, you know, during the Cold War, we were going to like, oh yeah, we're going to have more superiority. No, it was about, if it was superiority, it was to get whatever's on the moon. That's my opinion, based on what I've seen on the moon, and based on, if you watch these other cool videos, that like a documentary where it shows how, you know, the Soviet Union was wanting to build a moon base, and of course it started with spy satellites, and of course the the United States wanted to do the same, and vice versa. And whoever's first, I could give a damn, to be truthful with you. The point is, it's like everybody's like trying to outdo the other. Instead of getting together as a power, I don't care what country it is, get together as a power and become something of a reckonable force, like, just to be able to build something, we would have been so much further out in space already. I guarantee it. It would have been awesome. Leslie Ann Warren, thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate the little kitty giving the thumbs up, I guess that is. That's cool. I do appreciate you. Thank you. But that's just the way I feel, Mimi, you said, Chris, you said Ukraine is one of the biggest exporters of sunflower. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that these countries offer, and it's a shame that their supply is going to get either bombed, completely spoiled, or whatever it may be, and it's going to cripple that country. The people, not so much the leaders, the people. And it's not fair to the people. I don't think it's right. Now, I seen what, and Pat, by the way, good to see you there, Pat Owen. You said it's Russia versus the deep state. And, of course, General Meow Putin says, Pat Owen, 100% facts. Go tell that to Chris. Okay, explain exactly what you mean by deep state. People have different definitions of that. Mimi reacts. She said, space travel costs money. It does. Now, what if, though, they had anti-gravitics back in the day and they're showing the public these rockets as opposed to what they're really doing back and forth, right? And this was just like a giant PR, basically, movie or show. Even if we were going, let's say we did, I believe 100% we went there. We went to the moon during the Apollo missions, but there's something more to it than that. Can you imagine, like, showing the Apollo missions doing their thing, and yet they have these other crafts that they're just, like, they're having you focused on that, but yet they're going back and forth on the moon, doing things behind the curtain, so to speak. We don't know, Especially if they had that back in the day, who knows what they could have been doing, even back in late 60s, early 70s, right? What's going on there, John Sharp? Good to see you in there. What's going on, Your Highness? Good to see you in there. Thought I just saw you pop in there. Whoops. Kapak. I think that's how you pronounce it. What's going on? Good to see you in there. Well, it's less Kapak. What is happening? Well, that's what I'm getting at, Ricardo. He said Russia has its own deep state. It's not them versus American deep state. Well, this is what I was trying to be. I wanted to be a little bit more definitive and see what you were talking about. But yeah, I mean, you get that in every country, right? So I get that. So then you have to try to find the link between that and Ukraine. So, but that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you go down this big rabbit hole, and maybe just something simple, and then it's something that's like, wow, I didn't realize this. And as you get into it more and more and more, and you research to finally get to the actual, nitty gritty, if you will. You actually get down to the, brass tacks. Steve Garnham, what's going on? He said, hey, Chris, I'm back. Had to have a shower, been down the gym. Hey, nothing wrong with that, brother. Staying fit. Stay fit, man. That's the way to do it. Ricardo said the Russian military is bullied by the Russian mafia for F's sakes. Yeah, well, I've heard about that too. Scourge 1971, as far as the no-fly zone goes, it wouldn't affect many of the bombs and missiles anyway because they are mostly launched or dropped from inside Russian airspace. Well, the fact that they're going into their airspace though is what matters. I just don't know all the stipulations and what this, what you can do and what you can't, right? Johnny Messina, what's going on? He said, sup, Mars? What's going on, Johnny? Wild Mountain Bear, what's happening? He said, rockets must go. We can not get past our solar system. Exotic propulsion technologies. Oh, yeah. Guarantee it. Well, that part, you're correct about that, General Meow Putin. You said deep state are the globalists who want to reduce humanity to 500 million, like Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci or members. That I 100% agree with. The sad thing about it, there's always these crooked weirdos and these people who want to do stuff to people, to the humans, right? I should say the population, the civilians, right? And we all have to agree on that part. Nobody wants to see innocent civilians pay the price. I don't care if it's from a virus, war, or any of that sort. It's like you said about the mafias, and it's kind of like Mexico, right? The drug cartel runs that down country. Same thing. It's no different. So they're fighting amongst themselves. It's almost like their own civil war, so to speak, right? Nobody wants to see civilians pay the price, though. You God says, yeah, secret anti-gravity ships. Yep. William Barr says all of that money NASA gets in black budget, $8 trillion missing from government over the years. Yeah, I mean, you see the deficit going up, and it's like, oh, there's $8 trillion missing. We don't know where it went. They have no idea where it went. Tommy Bird, you said Navy and unacknowledged access programs control most black budgets, or projects rather. Need to know supersedes all military and civilian rank and position. Mm-hmm. Whoops. I hate when this thing jumps here. Yeah, Mountain Bear, he agrees too. 500 million would be easy to control. That's what it comes down to. Population control. Yeah, I've seen it. You know what, Ricardo, I actually said the same thing and asked the same question. He said, I just read on Google that people have searched to ask if the movie The Martian was based on a true story. I was so bummed out about that movie, though. I expected so much more, like maybe he runs, remember, because he's like on the planet himself, and then I was hoping like he'd fall into like some hole, and it turned out to be like a tunnel or something like that to like an underground city or something that would have been exciting, but nah. Nope. It's kind of bummed out. Bummed out big time. Oops. Nick Savage said deep state, unelected jerks and demons who exert influence and manipulate behind the scenes, usually below the radar. Kevin T, I like that. All right, I'm here. Thanks for waiting. Let's get started. Eh? Nick, he said, hey, Chris, just hanging out listening. I appreciate you being here, Nick. Oops. Steve Garnham, he said, big full moon over the UK tonight. Yeah, it was huge. We saw that. It was like, good God. In fact, my wife got a couple pictures of that thing, man. It's like, it was a nice time to throw up a telescope, that's for sure. Yep, Kevin T said, Matt Damon. Yep. There you go, Pat. Matt Damon should have grown pot on Mars, too. Am I the only one who thought that was kind of a, not a depressing movie, but it's like you were just waiting for something cool and just never came about. Now, it was cool that how he had to survive, and because he had to use his own, let's use the term number two, to grow plants and stuff like that. And he's very resourceful about how he went about it, but I just expected more from him. I'm like, yes, something cool. No. Oh, my God. Yeah, I wasn't too happy. I was kind of bummed out, to be honest with you. Alfie Joe Bob, thank you very much for your support. Always a continuing supporter of the channel and Super Chat. I appreciate you. Good to see you. Good job. All right. I do appreciate you. Oops. Jean Ward. Shows the cool stuff, cool Mars stuff rather, Chris. We know NASA leaked them to you. Shh, you weren't supposed to say anything, Jean. God, man, that's not even right. That wouldn't surprise me, General Meow Putin. You said, I bet Mars had the same mafias and deep states before they blew each other up. Well, it's either that or, you know, somebody else was warring with them, meaning something from otherworldly. But, yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell what created that, right? Like I said, if just people would just get along. Can you imagine a world where there was no separation of anybody? In other words, you just said, hey, let's say you, General Meow Putin, I want to say, I'm mixing the words, Meow Putin. If I said to you, hey, by the way, you think I can have you come in and I need to have this land moved and we need to do this and do that? Yeah, no problem, I'll be right over. And then I did for you and everybody just got along and it just worked out well. Again, where would we be now if we weren't fighting over resources, parts of land, for whatever reason, egotistical morons? Think about this a minute. If we didn't have all of these issues, would we not be better off in this planet as a whole? Of course we would. The answer is yes. Right on the head, Jeffrey. You said the true rulers of the planet are the people who we never even hear about. Or if we do it, it is on very rare occasions. Exactly. You know, the president's nothing more than a PR puppet. I've said this a million times. I don't care what leader you have. The military is who runs the country. And, of course, banks. And, of course, the filthy, filthy rich. Those are the ones that pull the strings. You know, like it or not. You know. So, you always have to go back to, you know, like if you look at it like a pyramid type thing. You know, from the very bottom of us to up to all of the branches of the military, to the president, to this, that, and the other, and it just keeps going. Somebody has to be like almost like the supreme leader, or at least a group of leaders, right? And they're the ones that's controlling this planet. That wouldn't be good, John. He said they had a CERN on Mars and opened a portal. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Would not be good. It's like that movie, The Mist. I love that movie. It's actually a pretty good movie. Kind of a shitty ending. Could have turned out better, but it's a good movie. Goat Squeezy said it's all about land management and humanity on this planet. Yep. What part were you talking about, John Sharp? He said, Chris, David Icke was right after we all thought he was mad. Hope you're not talking about the lizard people. I still don't believe in all that. I think it's a bunch of crap. But that's just my opinion. I mean, like I said before, is it possible there's something that looks similar to that? Sure, I guess there could be. Especially if they lived like in, kind of like our reptiles and fish and any other creatures that live under the ground with no sunlight. They're born with no eyes, don't need them, go by other senses, could look different. You know, so I guess it could be a variant of human beings. It could be. I'm not so sure I really believe in the lizard people, but I'm not saying I got my mind closed to the idea either, right? Where did it just go? I just seen that other one. Pat Owen, good old poopy pants, potato head POTUS. Now, don't be too hard on the guy just because he can't tie his sneakers right. It'll be all right. Just, give the guy a break, will you? Yep, Kyle, as the president is a face for the government. Sad. Tommy Bird, you said universe is probably much like our ocean. It's beautiful, but likely also a big kill zone. Yeah, you really don't want to go in the ocean. A lot of times there's things that just want to eat you. And who knows if there's UFOs or civilizations under our own noses. That could be, like I said, underground. We would know it. We don't have maybe they're so deep underground we don't have ground penetrating radar that could see them. Not sure that way that was redacted. General Meow Putin says message retracted. That is just weird because sometimes I can be watching that. I'll literally see a message and I'll go like that. I go to read it and go and it'll say message retracted. I'm not sure what that's all about. Well, I guess it does have filters, so if you're swearing or any of that sort, it might try to filter you out. So just be careful on that. It's okay to say what you want to say. Just be careful with the swearing part. That's all. Yeah, Kyle, exactly. I agree with you. You said, the president, like you said, is a face for the government. And I appreciate your support, as always, brother. Always a supporter of the channel. He said, no, the lizards. Yeah, see, I'm not a big fan of those. I'm not too sure about that. I am Merkin. What's happening? He said, whatever happened to the pictures of those shafts, deep sinkholes? Always thought those should have got more light shed on them, as they thought they were opened up underground. Yeah, I know. You never hear a thing about it, right? Imagine that. I agree with you, Goat Squeeze. He said Jupiter Ascending movie is pretty close to the mark what's going on here on Earth. I agree with you. He also said our souls are trapped by but not be allowed to leave. It's like a prison planet. I've heard that more than once, which is really weird, right? Marina, you said, someone once said, and I agree, that our Earth, we are separated, but on a deep level, or otherwise called subtle place, we are united, we are whole, the whole humanity. Well, I mean, at times it doesn't seem that way, though, right? I mean, it's like, you want to, we'll call it a dream, if you will, right? We can daydream about, like I said, I often thought I sat back and I thought, just think about something with no wars. We surpassed all of that, surpassed monetary. You never had to worry about money. Everything was good. You just worked and everything was automatically paid. You had like you had your own vehicle. They gave you a vehicle, then the whole 9 yards of food. You never had to worry about it as long as you're working to supply it. So you work, you manufacture, you get in return. It's that simple. No, it'll never be that simple because it's all about being money hungry. Now, I do understand that you have, production costs money. Well, we know that. But the thing is, the people are working for this, so why not just, one trade-off? One hand washes the other kind of thing, only on a grand scale, right? Pat Owen says, Drago reptilians. Yeah, I mean, because he talks about other cool stuff, but I don't know why, I just can't get on board the reptilian thing. And again, I'm not close-minded to it because I believe that's anything is possible, right? If a planet is more, liquid, meaning a lot more water, is it possible that these other civilizations would build underwater? And maybe they do. They breathe, with gills kind of thing through like a fish. Is it possible that can happen? Sure. I don't know. We can't shut out the idea because we have no idea what other life is like on other planets, right? I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying I'm on board, but I'm not on board, right? So I'm 50-50 on the whole thing. MG Tony said, Ike calls anyone he does not like reptiles. Yeah, well, that ain't cool either. William Barr says, my lizard brain is telling me it's time for some grasshoppers. Do you actually have a lizard? If you have a lizard, that's probably why they want the grasshoppers, right? Jean Ward, look up Teespring. That's what I had. And like I said, I had everything on there. Everything from, I think it was like shirts, mugs, this, that, and the other. Now you go on my channel, it's like just a mug. So I've been saying it, but I need to look into that. I really do need to look into it. But Teespring will actually do the shirts for you and, sell them for you and everything. Of course, they give you, a percentage or whatever, how much it is per shirt and everything else. So you may want to look into that. It's pretty cool. General Meal Putin, if every country had disco, it might unite the planet. I agree. I mean, like I said, I think we can all agree, no matter what the circumstances are, we should get along. We should all, it should be a better planet. We should, consider each other as equals and not constantly fighting over dumb shit. That's just the way I feel. Bush Corey, what's happening? I said, damn, I'm late. Sorry. Oh, I didn't get the notification. Damn. Hi, Chris. Hello. Oh, happy Friday. Well, I'm glad you made it in anyway, Bush Corey. Good to see you in there. Good to see you in there, brother. Let me see. So I went on here, looking on space.com. There's always kind of some cool stories. Some, not so much. And of course, we know that the James Webb telescope has taken its first photos. I don't know if you guys have seen them. Really, really cool. Really, and it's pretty sharp. I mean, they're pretty darn good, right? The worm moon will shine in Friday night sky. It's the last full moon of the winter of 2022. Oh, it's shining, all right. Absolutely. Pretty cool. Artemis program is coming along pretty well. Right there, Artemis 1 moon rocket rollout. Meet the NASA crawler carrier doing the heavy lifting. So it's the NASA's crawler transporter 2. It's the size of a baseball infield and weighs more than 6 million pounds. Oh, we could bench press that, right? But yeah, pretty interesting. I was just looking at this. This is kind of funny. This tech startup Flux Modular moon rover for astronauts could lead to Mars cars. Imagine that. Don't worry, they're already there. Venturi Astrolab unveiled, depending on how you want to pronounce it, the moon rover concept this month. Kind of funky looking thing, isn't it? Look at this thing. Look at this thing. That cool or what? That is pretty wild. But I think they got their transportation already on Mars, right? Modular moon rovers could reduce the cost of surface exploration of the moon and potentially human Mars excursions, a California-based space tech startup envisions. Now, if you think about it, if these are electric, which would make sense, and all they got to do is just put a giant solar stations up there and just recharge these things, and if they're just small runabouts, they can go wherever they want and they come back and recharge, right? Never have to use any fuel. You have to worry about further contamination. Notice how I said further. The startup called Venturi Astrolab announced that development of its flexible logistics and exploration, or FLEX, rover on March 10th. The rover, the company said in a statement, will enhance lunar and planetary mobility and meet the demand of frequent missions that would support a permanent human presence on the moon. Of course, we're also talking could be as far as Mars as well, but Lunar rovers, crewed and uncrewed, are far from strangers to the moon's surface, with the Americans, the Soviet Union, and lately the Chinese deploying missions that can crawl around the surface. So, pretty cool, right? NASA's Artemis 1 mission explained in photos. Of course, we can't play the sound because you know how that goes. Yeah. You know, you get this, get hit with a copyright strike. You're like, here we go. Kyle was just saying to Corey, that's pretty funny. Well, I am working, yeah, I agree with you in some sense, but I'm just saying as far as everybody just kind of getting along kind of thing, because you said a system like that is pure communism. I'm not saying like you're underneath these people, like they tell you what you can do, what you can't. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that they just give it to you because you are working. So in other words, in place of you working, you know, you're just getting these benefits. We'll call them benefits, not like you must do this or you will not live kind of thing. That's communism. I'm saying is if you're working and instead of you having to cough up all kinds of money to get the same car the other guy does, in other words, let's say a guy works at a Toyota plant and he's making, you know, $25, $30 an hour, and you're over here at the other place, busting your hump, making minimum wage, nowhere near that, but you still get the same vehicle he gets. So, yeah. So that's when I think that's a good thing. But I agree with you, depending on how you look at it, it could absolutely look like communism, right? Corey, what's going on? Good to see you there. Let me see. Mr. John Shop, thank you very much for your support, sir. Always appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys are awesome supporters of the channel. I appreciate you all. General, you said, how come NASA doesn't send animals to Mars? Well, I know there's been, like, I think even back then the Soviet Union did. Well, they put, like, I think it was a dog. One was a dog. I don't remember what countries it were. One was a dog. One was a monkey. They had rats there in orbit. And I think some insects. If you guys know of any others, let me know. But they've done that. And some of them come back and some of them, they don't. In other words, they just die out in space, which is really sad, but that's how, you know, they're almost like a lab rat, if you will, right? So, yeah. Unearthing planetary defense. Studying extraterrestrial bodies could help defend Earth from future impact threats. Are we sure it's just from the impact threats? I love how they actually put that up there. Like, you know, they're trying to, you know, use that. I mean, we don't know if it's more than just that, right? But this data gathered by the Psyche, which is the actual spacecraft, and DOT missions could help protect us here on Earth. But this spacecraft is actually going to the asteroid. It's asteroid 16 Psyche, right? So image credit, Maxar, ASU, Peter, Rubin, I guess it is. But anyway, that's pretty much a spacecraft. They're going to this asteroid, and it's metallic to boot. And of course, it's funny, they're talking about how people like go off the handle and they start talking about how, the comet's worth so much more than a whole economic, I forgot how we put it. Here it goes right here. Of course, in today's clickbait culture, Googling Psyche will take you down the proverbial internet rabbit hole of stories about how it's worth more than the global economy. And enticing as that idea is, we are not going to scrap it and sell it for parts. No, but it's funny how they just like direct themselves at these certain things. Now, it's a metallic asteroid. Now, that doesn't mean it can't be natural metals, right? Of course, absolutely it can. But it also makes you think, why that particular one out of all of these comets or asteroids out there that you just happen to peg that one out? Maybe because they were scanning the skies and found it. Good possibility. Or it's maybe of something else. You know, speculative, but could be something else, right? Yeah, Pat. Oh, there you go. Rest in peace. Yeah, you're saying the Russian space dog. That's what I remember. The dog, the monkey that was there. They had rats, and I think I'm almost positive that they had rats on one of the Apollo missions. I could be wrong. You guys could correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I understand it's for experimental purposes, but just, again, you know, we're seeing animals die because of it and everything else, which sucks. But what are you going to do? Mr. 786 Auto, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Anyone watched Space Force? Space Force. What do you mean watched? Was there a documentary on that, or was it a movie? Because I haven't. Clearly, right? Leslie Ann, you said, LOL, no threats from ETs. Well, I mean, obviously if they're all friendly and good people and are way above all that warring crap, then yeah, nothing to worry about, right? Exactly, John. So there's a bunch of monkeys on Mars. Now we know why everything is broken there. Yeah, or big cats just kind of pushing stuff around. That would be pretty funny. Yep, there you go. Let's, Kapak, I guess it's pronounced. Don't forget the tardigrades. Yeah, which China sent up there. And I think they said it was like a, I don't know if it was like a mini greenhouse, but they had like plants and like these little, like almost like little beacons. And they had like, and of course they had the tardigrades too. And of course I think the thing crashed anyway. And of course now we get these tardigrades, which are very hardy little, you know, microbial things that they're probably still on the moon, still surviving. Who knows? But yeah, there you go. Tardigrades themselves. They look like little mini space pigs. If that's the best way I can say it. Ricardo Petrozzi, thank you very much. He said, James Cragen will be fashionably late tonight. NASA boys still need a lens cloth, though. I appreciate it, Ricardo. That's cool. Yeah, where's James? Is he hiding? Or is he just coming in late? That's pretty funny. That's his line, too. Give it to the boys there. Poor guys need to clean the glasses off. Pat Owen says, poor space animals, poor space Russians. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these astronauts, cosmonauts, regular astronauts, doesn't matter who they are, what part of the world, you know, these people pay their price for that, you know. It's really sad. You know, you got the Apollo mission, people died on it. You got the STS missions with the shuttle. You know, it's a sad thing. You hate to see that happen. Ian, you said our planetary defense really isn't that good right now. Every so often they tell us, oh, yeah, an asteroid nearly... I was just going to say the same thing. Nearly missed happened a couple of days ago, and we didn't see it coming. Which is crazy, right? You'd think they'd have the technology to know this by now. Especially when you consider they're saying, well, we want to go to Mars. We want to go to the moon. Don't you want to be aware of anything that might be coming our way? Think about this. Okay, we're going to travel from Earth to Mars, but don't worry about something that might crash into you. You might hit it. Don't worry about that. It'll be all right. But they're probably just going, listen, we know from trajectory, from computer programs, that there's going to be nothing in the way anyway. Why do we care? I would. But they're thinking if it's something that large, they probably couldn't do anything about it anyway. Even if it was like, what was it, like Deep Impact, was it? Well, they try to blow it up, and of course it sent a bunch of other pieces. And if it's super huge, the chances are they're not going to be able to do anything with it because you'll break it into much larger pieces or smaller but still large pieces, and it could just, you know, basically total catastrophic event. So, yeah, probably not good. There you go, William Barr. Yeah, chimpanzees, Chris. Get it right. Damn them all to hell. Damn them. Remember he slammed his hand down? Oh, man, it's funny. Leslie Ann, you said, like us, we are lab rats to them, but they won't survive nothing. The elite, too, busy warning each other. Yeah, there you go. Elaine, you said continued. All right, I guess you sent. Did this thing jump on me? And I don't know if you said continue, so I don't know if you had another message and somehow I didn't see it. But anyway, you said, yeah, I bought sweatshirts and T-shirts. They were very nice quality, especially the tie-dye T-shirts. Navy sweat was thicker than grays, but they do masses of colors. Yeah, exactly. They're actually pretty awesome. That's why I got to get that thing back working again. It's just really weird. Pat Owen, Space Hillbillies from Planet Alabama. Christine Ingram, what's going on? Good to see you in there. He said, hi, Chris, and all other would-be astronauts. What's happening? Who was the one that just said that recently? He said, I just heard this from, I don't know if it was a comment section or where it was, but they said, you know, when I was a kid, I was growing up, I wanted to be an astronaut. I was the same way. Same thing. Like I said, when I was in the 6th grade, they said, okay, come in with your favorite character, make your own costume. Like I said, I had the, you know, the costume, I had the microphone here, I had the, you know, everything on. So it was pretty cool. Pretty neat. There he is. There he is. There's Mr. James Cragen. So boom, boom, Chris, and everyone tonight. Happy St. Patty's Day weekend, my friends from all of the Irish around the world. Great to be with you all. Well, I appreciate it, James, and thank you for your support, brother. I do appreciate you, as always. Always a continuing supporter of the channel. But we were just talking about your ears must have been burning like, who the heck's talking about me? Somebody's talking about, oh, there they are. They're like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Good to see you in there, James. Adam the Martian, what's happening? You said an UFO was recorded in Ukraine near an attacked building. I was just saying it earlier how they had, there was a UFO spotted and it was in the Ukraine airspace. So I thought that was really wild. So I guess you pretty much confirmed it. Pretty neat. Oliver Klein says, for all in the U.S., come to Germany, enjoy $12 for a gallon of gas. Welcome to Europe. Yeah, I know, I heard that, man. These people are getting hit hard, really hard, too. Right now, we're at like 406. You know, I've seen it when I went up to, yeah, it was Indiana, and then it was, well, let's see, which one was the higher one? Ohio wasn't bad. Indiana was like 429, 425. Not super bad. $12, that's a lot to swallow. But the good thing about the UK, and I love the UK for this, is that a lot of the vehicles, and I think even Russia's like this in Germany, a lot of people have a lot more diesel vehicles. Of course, that's more money here. I don't know what it's like there in Europe or around the world, but I remember back in the 80s, it was the other way. It was the other way around. Diesel was always cheaper. Now it's more expensive. If it's 406 here, it's like 5 and change for a gallon of fuel on diesel. It's incredibly silly. Because, you know, you go, well, you know, remember back in the day you could have, like I had a turbo, not a turbo, I'm sorry. Well, it was actually, well, I had one that was a turbo too. But anyway, I had a diesel Jetta, Volkswagen Jetta. That darn thing get 55, 60 miles to the gallon. And you paid less at the pump. Now it's the other way around. So would it be even worth having those? Yes and no, because you can get a little more miles out of a diesel than you can in gas. Of course, it depends on how you upkeep it, of course. We know that. But really love that thing. I had a Rabbit that was like that, and I also had a Jetta. And probably should have kept that thing, but that thing had like a little over 300,000 miles on it. But there's a book like this big. It swears like the Bible. You open it, this guy did everything to this vehicle. And I actually got it for the freebie. It was like, the guy was saying, no, he just wanted it out of his yacht. I said, what's wrong with it? He said, well, the alternator's not working right, and it needs a battery. I'm like, okay. So I brought a battery over, got it started. Come to find out on those, on the alternators, you can take this little door off, there's 2 screws, and you can pull, I think it was part of the regulator out, and then put yourself a new one. It's like $28. Put it back together. Never had an issue with the car. I should have kept it. I ended up reselling it. I think I sold it for like $800 to a used car dealer. I'm like, hell yeah. I should have held on to it though. But I had like 4 or 5 cars at the time. I didn't really need it. Yeah, Ricardo, that was a good little car. I mean, it wasn't completely fast, but it was like a train, you know what I mean? Just keep building speed, and it ran good. No complaints. I mean, they all have their weird or quirky things that go wrong with them, but what car doesn't, right? Gas or diesel. Oh, you can, okay. Oliver, you said diesel is raised to $2.50. Well, a liter, so same $12 okay, a gallon, according to exchange rate. Yeah, there you go. Lapis, you said I could still load my electric car for free at the local grocery store. What's wrong with the people? Yeah, I know. That's another thing I like about the UK. I think is it if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I know a lot of places you actually have to have a card if you have an electric vehicle, and you can just go ahead and put it on there. And of course, you just charge it. Some places are free. You can just pull up to the side of the road, plug it in, you're ready to go, which I think is really cool too. And they got a lot more electric vehicles out there, right? Pretty cool. John Sharp said 455. Well, good motor. Who cares? 9 miles to the gallon. It's funny because it's funny you said that. I was on this charter bus going from here in West Virginia to Indiana, and I was asking the driver. I said, "I'm just curious." I said, "How many miles to the gallon does this thing get?" He goes, "About 6." I said, "Holy shit!" But the funny thing about it is, and that's with everybody on board, any kind of luggage you had, and this thing's a massive. It's like literally a wall in the wind. And it would cruise at 75, 80 miles an hour. You're talking 1,800 RPMs. And that's insane, but it's made to cruise. It's not really for power, right? But really, really cool. Of course, I ended up being the right-hand window defroster. For some reason, the vents were coming out, and it was doing okay for his side, but the whole side, they would frost or like fog up, and he would look through that window, and he would see the mirrors, whether it be the blind spot mirrors, the regular mirrors, and everything else. He couldn't see them. I said, you look like you might have an issue doing that. Let me get those paper towels. I got some paper towels. I kept wiping it down. Like every 20 minutes, I had to wipe it down things. He says, I'm going to owe you a steak dinner by the time that's done. And by the time we get there, I said, hey, I'm down with it. So, yeah. Mr. James Gregan says, a huge hello to everyone in case I missed you. Thanks again, James, for your support. I do appreciate you, brother. But yeah, I mean, what the heck is that? Okay. That's funny you just mentioned that, Leslie Ann, but yeah. But again, James, thank you very much. Leslie Ann, you said that would be good for my mobility scooter in the future. Keep out the wheelchair by sticks. It's funny because I told my wife, I said, I'm not worried about it. I said, if it gets that high, I'll just take my electric scooter to work. I don't care. I mean, it literally takes, it does like a 16 miles an hour, get to work an X amount of time. I don't care. Just leave enough time and charge it up at work and come back. I don't care. There's plenty of sidewalks to ride on. And OPEC can kiss my rear end. Robert Morgan says, start hoarding gas, diesel, and propane now. Well, like I said, I think it's kind of like capped off, at least at the moment. Hasn't been on the rise. It started going up to it was like 409 rather. Then it started going like 415. And then all of a sudden it just went back to 409 here. Giddy up, 409. Remember that? Kyle Harry said, like I said years ago, electric was the way to go, way of the future. Well, it was back even 1890, had electric cars. Of course, they were super crude, right? It was like a clunky handle, clunk, forward, clunk, backward, and they didn't get you very far. But I think, what was the maximum amount? Like 20 miles, maybe some of them were like 50 miles. But, they would have to like exchange them out kind of like things and then put new batteries in there and stuff like that, which they have that now in the future. They already have, instead of you having to worry about one particular battery, you would literally exchange it. Of course, you have to pay a fee every month, and I believe it's in Europe. You pay a fee, and you get like, like Renault has, where you buy the car, but you pay X amount of dollars every month, and you just go there and you just change out the battery or whatever it is, exchange it. And, a lot of people complain about, what do you call it? The batteries, blah, 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 blah. And listen, they recycle them. I know at one point they didn't do that, but now they're starting to recycle them. And they're trying to change them over to like solid state, which I believe they still use like this much of that particular battery, right? The lithium itself. But I would love to see them get away, just get out of it, period, and just use something like a capacitor power as opposed to, any kind of lithium. But to have like a huge capacitor, or there may be like mini cells like you find in all of these lithium batteries, that if you can have the same thing in capacitors, the only difference is you'd have to figure a way not to have them bleed off all at once. And they are working on that. So, in fact, I've seen a lot smaller scale guy did that. He put a bunch of large capacitors together in the place of his regular car battery, fired it up every time, every single time. Jean Ward's taking off. He says, good night, everybody. Thanks for the hangout, as always. Take care. All right, Jean, we will be in touch. Like I said, I'm hoping to get Will in this week, and then you'll be on the following week. Or we can just do it sometime during the week. I don't care. One way or the other for me. You know, that'll work either way. So, but yeah, good having you in here as always, man. I'm glad you stopped in. You take the time to do that. So I appreciate you. And keep up the good work, by the way, too. Like I said, if anybody hasn't checked out Jean Ward's channel, do so. You'll love it. Like he said, he's like the Ingenuity helicopter, and I'm the rover because I do the ground. He does the satellite view. So check him out. Like I said, subscribe to him. You got nothing to lose, and notification bell. Bing. Have a good day. Let me see. John Schaub says V8 1980. Oh yeah. There you go, Pat. So I'm recycling and helping to save our climate environment by restoring my 66 Galaxy. Hey, I hate to see them go in the trash. I love it when people just like, you know, frame off restoration, get these things primo again. Even if you don't do a full frame off, it's good to have it, you know. Like I said, even, heck, back in the day, I had a 1973 Ford Maverick, which a lot of people chuckled at, but this had the factory 302, you know, buckets, AC, gauges, had everything. And it was a good little car. It turned into like a grabber. If you guys are familiar with the grabber, I got a hood from the grabber. One thing I found was weird. There was a 1971 grabber that the guy had the hood on, and it was actually an actual real grabber. I'm like, really? Why did it come with a straight 6? I found that really weird. So either he didn't know what the hell he was talking about, or it was actually came like that. But I asked him, hey, you want to sell the hood? And he said, yeah, I'll do that. So we swapped hoods. He didn't care. I guess he got the car for the 0, and he didn't care. So I think I gave him my hood and like $100. But once I had mine painted the same as the rest of the car, I put some, it was Ford rims, but really, really sharp. Changed the exhaust around. We're talking only 145 horsepower, but the car weighed 3,300 pounds soaking wet. So it was pretty quick. The problem with those is those big barrel mufflers, and you can hear it when that thing wound out the gears, like, you can hear it trying to push the air out, and it couldn't. So by just changing the muffler made a world of difference. The thing would just whine and go right through the shifts. Made a world of difference in that car. Alfie Joe Bob says we are at $3.75 gallon in Texas. Man, that ain't bad. That's pretty good. I think it'll start to level off. I think it'll start to drop a little bit. Let me see. Let me see this. Let me see if I can do this for you. See if I can grab that. Where'd it go? Okay, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to share the link of Leslie Ann Warren's channel because she's going to have like a small video coming out or a documentary, whatever it may be. And then, of course, she gives her, you know, she talks, you know, it's good chat. What, anywhere between an hour and 2 hours talking about, you know, personal life and other things. She sees about either, it looked like one from Mars Anomalies and Beyond to the Moon. So different other things. And she's got a few, you know, videos here, which is cool. You got 4, I guess you got about 8 of them total, but that's fine. And also, if she is coming out with that show there, you're going to want to watch that. So I'm going to drop that link down here. You guys can subscribe to her channel, check it out. Like I said, I'd be interested in the actual one she's coming out with. I don't know why it did that. That shouldn't have done that, but let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure why I did that. I copied the Don, what do you call it, and it didn't show it. Let me do it this way. Let me see, try it again. Okay, let's try this. Should have done it. Oh, there it goes. Okay. All right, that's Leslie Ann Warren's channel right there. That's her link. You can check that out. And like I said, we'll be looking forward to that. That small movie or whatever it is you're going to be putting together. That'll be awesome. I was going to say that, John. I don't believe it was. Yeah, he said the grabber was on specials, but the 6 was not part of the pack. And that's what I'm saying. It was a red one. It had the back spoiler and everything, and it had the actual the hood itself. I was just kind of, really? And it was just kind of like just a plain Jane. I'm like, he must have added this thing to his car. That's the only thing I can think of. Both the spoiler, the trunk spoiler, and that. It was sharp. Mine was pretty good shape. So I sold it to my cousin. He's a putz. At the time, he had a 74 Monte Carlo. Had a simple 350 in it. 2-barrel, but they put a step-up cam, the Ocano cam in it. It was pretty good. It was pretty fast. He's like, oh, yeah, my car will beat your car. I went, how do you figure? I said, your car's, it's like a building on wheels, the weight of that thing. We never did get the race. He never was, because he lived in New Hampshire at the time. I lived in Rhode Island, born and raised. But anyway, he ends up buying the thing. One part I can applaud him for, because he was like tired. He's coming back from Rhode Island. Oh, I got to get some sleep. He went into the rest area, crashed for a few hours, and said, oh, this is awesome. You know, I think he woke, and it's almost daylight anyway. He woke up and he was getting back on the on-ramp to go back on the freeway. And of course, the ground was wet. He punches it to the floor. And you know what happens with a rear-wheel drive. I can tell you pretty much what happened there. Tail end come out, and bang, right into the barrier. I actually should say the guardrail on that side. Yeah, I wasn't too happy with him. I said, I told you the thing is so light, man. You can't be doing that. He's not too smart. John Shaw, he said, Chris, will a petrol engine work on Mars? I don't know. It's a great question, because if you go by what NASA says, it probably wouldn't work too well, unless, of course, they design a motor or an engine that can run on real low oxygen, you know, of course, then get the proper mixture and get it to work. My guess is if there isn't enough oxygen, it'll definitely be electric vehicles of some sort. But if we go by what we're seeing in these photos and how we've been lied to in the past, something tells me we should be able to use it. But I don't think they're going to want to do that. You know, I don't know if they're going to stop polluting the Mars as well, right? John, you said, was there bucket seats? Were you talking about in the Monty or mine? Because mine had it. Mine had bucket seats. Maverick did. Like I said, factory buckets, gauges, even had the AC and everything. Really good running car, too. I had to change out the timing chain because I had a little slap in it. You can just tell by just turning it, and you can see the distribute. You can see the space. It had, like, I forget what it was. It was like maybe almost a 1/4 inch. You can move this chain back, you know, move it back and forth. And before that, your rotor started to turn. So it was pretty worn out. Ricardo, what are you saying? That your message, what? What? Yeah, exactly what I was saying, Steve. You were talking to John. You said probably not without oxygen. Unless, of course, it is more oxygen they're claiming, because we know it has blue skies. They weren't claiming that. I mean, you know what I mean? There's definitely water there. So, I don't know. If not, it'll probably be all electric. And you don't have to worry about if you have enough, you know, have like a field of like solar panels, you can charge anything you want and not have to use any kind of fuels. So unfortunately, guys, no ice, no internal combustion engines. Yeah, they did have two of them. Yeah, because they had the what was the other one? It was the GT, the Mercury GT, wasn't it? You said because your Maverick might have had the hood from the Mercury. I don't know because this was a Maverick, and of course you know these things were interchangeable, but at least most of it was. But it might have been the GT that they had taking the hood off of. Yeah, Pat, I wish I could have another one today. You said I had a 1970 Maverick with a straight, with the, I think it was the 250s in those. Yeah, and AC, loved that car. Yeah, I mean, listen, how simplistic was it? If you can have it mint condition today, it'd be perfect. All day long. Klein, good one. Said, do farts smell on Mars? Well, it depends if you wear a suit and your visor is closed. Yeah, that could be bad. Oh, poor guy got asphyxiated. Oh, I see what you're saying, Ricardo. You said physics.org article, Perseverance rover, high tails launch. I don't think I have that, though. Let me see. Anyway, I was looking at, hold on, let me see. There's that article there. Of course, hint of intriguing diversity seen in super energetic fast radio burst. Now, we talked about this before. But yeah, I don't have that link, Ricardo. I know they said something about it. What do they say? That it's moving fast through that area, which is really kind of weird. I think I've read that. I think I even have it here. Let me go back to it. If it had it here. This is European. European. We wait till you see this rover. This thing, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it looks silly as hell. The thing actually walks instead of rolls, or it does both. One of the two. But let me take a look. I think that article was in here, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if it was on one here. But I remember reading something about, see, look at this thing. I'll show you the whole thing in a minute. Oh my God. Soyuz launches to space station with first all-Russian cosmonaut crew in 22 years. So it lifted off. It's actually going to the ISS. If I'm not mistaken. Russian lifted off in the international space. Yeah, for the international space. So that's a whole crew going. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's live updates. Let me see. There you go, Carvey. What is it? Let me see. Hold on. Okay, no, okay, it jumped on me here, but I got Pat's right there. You're talking about the 70 Maverick. Go and screen, okay. And yeah, there you go, Ricardo's. Kyle, thank you very much again for your support. It's about time, man. You've upgraded. It's awesome. So proud of myself. I upgraded to iPhone 13 Pro Max. They are cool phones. Although I've got the Motorola Moto G, I also got the older iPhone. I think it's a 7, whatever the heck it is. I don't really need that phone, but got this one here. Pretty sweet. Does everything I needed to do. I kind of prefer it because I like Android, where you can do a lot more third-party apps and stuff like that on them. They're just a little more versatile. I like the iPhone as well, don't get me wrong. Good phone. Both of them are actually good phones. But the 13, my wife's got that one, the Pro. All right. All right, there's that. Let me see. Talking about that one there. And again, this is going to the asteroid. This is actually the spacecraft going to asteroid 16. And of course, astronomers are learning more and more about those mysterious cosmic outbursts, or the FRBs, right? The story of the sneaky, fast radio bursts, or the FRBs, may be more complicated than imagined. It's tough to figure out the origin stories of FRBs because they are so brief, so bright, and appear to come from numerous regions in the sky. Most of these powerful cosmic blasts seem to occur in young galaxies, although that's not always the case. I think they show it down here. I don't want to actually... I can't turn the sound on, like I said, because it'll just hit me with a copyright, which sucks. But the emission from the FRB traverses an enormous distance before hitting Earth, passing through regions that can put their own particular twist on the radio. And of course, they're talking about it could be going through like near a black hole, it could be doing anything, and it kind of either distorts or changes these FRBs, right? I still think it could be communications, for all I know. You know, it could very well be. I'm not saying with absolute surety, but I think it could very well be communications. And it's through light, and that's what they're doing. Study team members found that in the 5 repeating FRBs they looked at, key details of polarization depend upon the radio frequency in which it is observed. These properties can also change very quickly in a short time. But you can see how it's like it's supposed to be like in the, well, where they were looking anyway. And you can see these FRBs shooting from all over the place. And it's like, okay, so how do we know this isn't communications from other civilizations? As crazy as that sounds. Or it could be just natural things, right? We know that. This, of course, we can always go natural. The rapid changes may happen if repeating FRB emissions passes through a complex environment around the bursting sources, the statement added. For example, FRB light could be moving through the remnants of a supernova exploded star, the gas surrounding a rapidly rotating dense stellar corpse called a pulsar, or superheated gas near huge black holes. So, or it's aliens. I mean, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. But we don't know that, right? We don't know. Oh, happy Patty's Day. Oh yeah, Kyle. Yeah, he said I can run 4 to 5 apps at a time, and especially with the 5G network now. Oh yeah, it's pretty sweet. Well, it's the same thing here. I mean, the phone works awesome. And of course, yeah, you'll be all right. And of course, if you're working on your own, you know, Wi-Fi at home, and of course, if you got pretty fast internet, it works pretty well. Now, folks, get a load of this. That is just weird. Now, I would imagine this thing also drives, meaning it's not just, you know, it's literally walking. The European-Russian ExoMars rover testing its ability to move in sandy terrain, which proved challenging to many rovers before. So I guess they're getting it to walk, and it can actually, because you can see the wheels actually turning a little bit as just before it makes its move, like before it actually walks. But I think that would be very slow to do anything. And it doesn't look very big either. What do you guys think about that thing? William Barr, hey, you are seeing me from the 1970s, LOL. My first internet picture back in the day. Oh, yes, I'm from the ANet days. Oh, here you go. Spider Slayer 69, you are a treasure. Thank you for everything you do. I appreciate that. Thank you. William Barr says Android only way to go. The only way, I mean, I like Android because, like I said, it just seems more versatile. It seems like you can do, now don't get me wrong, I don't put down, like I said, I've used iPhones and I don't have any problem with them. I just prefer anything Android. Like I got the two NVIDIA Shields, which actually work on an Android platform, and I could do everything with those. That's basically where all my TV, my movies, and everything come from, and I can just add anything I want with ease, as opposed to playing games and I got to make the thing fool itself. When they call it, like unlocking or jailbreaking. It's like, shut up! It's not jailbreaking. All they're doing is just getting, like when you use those little fire sticks, which I used years ago. It's like you're just fooling the stick to say, oh, that's my app. That's all you're doing to it. They make it sound like it's technical. It's not hard to do. Just get your downloader, put it on there, and just, there you go. It's pretty easy stuff. Yes, we are, Leslie Ann Warren. You said, we are an alien, aren't we, Chris? Oh, yeah, we're all aliens here. The aliens are back. Kyle, you said, I think the Rover looks awesome. They just need to put an iPhone 13 Pro Max on that son of a biatch. Well, here's the thing. They probably got something much better than that. Obviously. They're not going to, even as, they're pretty complex, right? As far as the cameras in our phones now, and they can take like a 3D image. Some of these things are just really wild. But it's still probably nothing in comparison what these things got on there. They're gonna, like I said, it's gonna be far and way above what the average person has. Yeah, that's why I said that, Elaine. I think it's a combination of electric motors to move, as well as you can see how it like creeps along. It like just goes a little ahead, and then stops, and goes a little ahead with the wheels and stops. So it is actually going up and down, but it looks like it's just, see how it just looks like it's just crawling, just walking along, but you can actually see the wheels turn at the same time. I would imagine what happens is, when it gets on a decently flat ground, it just motors right along. In other words, electric wheels, and it just goes. When it gets into these little sand dunes and little things like that, it just walks. But for the likes of me, I can't understand why you use little wheels like that. You got to use something much bigger. The wider the better. It'll just be on top of the surface as opposed to sinking. There you go, Ricardo. You're talking to Kyle. Imagine you gave NASA an iPhone 13 Pro Max in 1967 and said, you can use this in the place of your fridge-sized computer to plot spacecraft orbits. Yeah, imagine that. But like I said, I can almost guarantee they had stuff that was phenomenal back then. Can almost be equated to what we got now. John Schaub, he said, I'm a Mercury person. Well, it's basically a Ford anyway, but, there is differences, of course. Oh. Well, yeah, but keep in mind, there's a couple of people saying about the Rover and the wheels. You said, like Mimi says, bigger wheels, more weight. Yeah, but these things are made of aluminum or aluminium, if you prefer. And they're only, I think they're like I forget what they are, 50 or 60 thousandths thickness on the wheels, at least for the Curiosity, and I think the Perseverance, unless they change the size or the thickness of that metal. But they're very light in comparison. They really are. And you got to remember, it's on Mars where the gravity is not as much either. So, like I said, when I did a calculation, it's a little over, it's like 125 or 150 pounds per wheel. Keep in mind, 6 wheels. And, divide the weight of the rover itself. So you get what? I think it's like 2,000 pounds. Divide it 6 ways, and then divide the gravity of Mars, and there's your weight. And like I said, it comes up to like 130, 160 pounds per wheel. I forget exactly what it was. It's been years since I've done it, because when the Curiosity in 2012 went there. So it's not really a lot of weight per se, and the rover is not nearly as heavy as it is on Earth. On Mars it is on Earth, though. Yeah, I agree, Christine. You said looks too low to the ground. We get stuck on rocks. Yeah, just the idea of smaller wheels, I just don't. And I don't know why they're still using solar, unless, of course, there's a lot more sun than they're claiming, because everybody knows, obviously, the planet's farther away from the sun than Earth is, and yet they claim there's always this, really dusty sky, so wouldn't that filter out all the sunlight? These little solar panels wouldn't be enough to kick that. So unless these are, I don't know what the hell they would be. They can only be solar panels, at least that's the way it looks, unless it's something for testing and the thing's actually, I don't remember if it said, but now they're saying it won't take off until later because, you can see it right here, Europe's a Mars rover now unlikely to launch before 2026 after Russia's war on Ukraine. So, yeah. I'm trying to remember just saying and talking about some. This is the actual rover itself. Yeah, so it's solar panels. Well, I'll tell you what, it must be really, really super good solar panels, or there's more sunlight on Mars than they're claiming. Plain and simple. Because if it was always dusty like they claim, there's no way this thing would recharge itself. And why do they keep insisting on going with these solar panels instead of the nuclear power like the Perseverance rover and, the Curiosity is beyond me. Now, you'll find them in the deserts, John. You said, what is a butte? We don't have them here in the UK. Yeah, you'll find them out in deserts. Just look them up. You'll see them it's all in desert areas. Mimi, you said, I bet they do work on something else other than solar. Yeah. I mean, it just seems ridiculous that you know it's very fragile, and if it gets a storm, that thing's not running anymore. What's the point? Unless, of course, you're only going to give it like a couple months to work, and then it's going to take a dump. I don't know. Because they can forecast the weather on Mars now. They can do that. They've been doing that for years. So, but even then, it's like it's like every 2-year window to go to Mars, because being that Mars is closest to Earth. So they have like every 2 years they can do this. So this is the reason why you always see even numbers. You always see like 2026, 2024. But why would you take the chance? That's what weakens anything that goes up there. The helicopter, any of the rovers, whatever it may be. You'd want to have that thing so it's robust, so that it will actually stay and keep functioning. Why they would keep using these solar panels? Again, unless, of course, there's a lot more sun than they claim. Yeah, I mean, maybe, yeah, you said, I bet all the rovers are nuclear powered. Well, here's the thing. We have satellites out in space that have been nuclear powered for years. And yet we're going to start using solar panels on a planet that's further away than Earth. It just doesn't make sense. It's almost like they put these solar panels on there, but it's like a dummy solar panel where they are actually, they have radioactive actual drives or power units, right? Because it wouldn't make much sense if you're sending a machine up there to do work, even if it's temporary. You'd want it to work as efficiently as it could. And I think a lot of these things are actually nuclear powered, but they do have battery packs in them as well. But what charges these battery packs? So as far as the Curiosity rover and the Perseverance, yeah, they're nuclear powered. But I don't understand for the life of me why they would keep using solar panels on these things. It just makes no sense. I think they might be just, because here's the thing, if they put, oh yeah, it's solar powered, guess what happens? If they just don't want to show the people anymore what's going on and show more pictures of, that this rover's taking and the science work that's doing, they just say, there's a dust storm, guys, sorry. It's, it's no longer functioning, it's dead, and that's pretty much it. So what do? You go, oh, that's too bad. And in the meantime, it's still running behind the scenes, right? So I don't know. Yeah, Elaine, it's pretty much. Excuse me. You said it's a sand dune. No, it's bigger than that. You can look at some of these things; they're absolutely humongous here in the States here, where you got like just look in the desert. Just Google it. Dry throat, getting itchy. You can Google it, and they're basically like mountainous areas that have been worn either water at one time or just I'm just looking at this thing. It's goofy as hell. I still don't understand how anything like that works. Or it's been, wind eroded, one of the two. And you can see like debris falling down to the bottom. So this is the reason why it looks so good. Like, hey, we'll use the butte thing on Mars, and then we'll just have junk just laying on there. It's just going to be just rocks. It's not rocks. It's far from rocks, at least for what they're looking at. Who was just saying that? Their rover is so clumsy. Yeah, I mean, that's the best they can come up with? I mean, you could probably do that, only a lot bigger scale, bigger wheels, less chance of it sinking in the sand. To me, this is what happened to, like, the Opportunity and Spirit rovers. They had smaller wheels and they sank right in these little sand traps. At least they said that. But we know one of them got caught. I think it was the Spirit actually got caught on something metal. Of course, they're not saying that, but that's what I seen in the picture. Yeah, Christine, you said, I don't think it will last long. The others are all higher to allow for the rocks. Yeah, more clearance, right? You know what this thing reminds me of? It reminds me of the Sojourner rover. It was so tiny. And of course, it didn't have the pivoting suspension and it didn't have this walking way, but it had very small wheels. Couldn't go over anything, ran into a rock, and that was the end of it. I don't know, this thing just seems real clumsy as hell. Excuse me. Donald Geisler said the Russians love nuclear power sources on their craft. Guess the crash sites may disperse the materials on impact, adding radiation to the areas on Mars. Could very well be. I'm just looking at that thing. It just looks silly as hell. Now, like I said, I think once it's in a regular area, it would just go with the flow. In other words, it just roll with the electric motors, because it's just like the Curiosity and the other rovers prior to that, or the Perseverance and the ones prior to that, where there are 6 electric motors. I mean, they're not likely to get stuck in the sand, but that doesn't mean it can't, right? Of course it can. So I can see that happening, but bigger wheels, it wouldn't do that. It just wouldn't. A lot less chance of it anyway. Robert Morgan, he said, heavy rainstorms are a better explanation for cleaning events on the rovers. That could very well be too. I thought of the very same thing. How do we know? Although they say it's windstorms, they go, oh yeah. They said that, what was it? Oh, I'm trying to remember. I remember them saying at one time, because this goes way back, when they were talking about the... This is my cat. Oh, gotta love her. But they were saying a while back that it was like they had anti-static on their solar panels, so when they would put this electrostatic charge in it, it would just like disperse this very light dust, which would work. But if you get bombarded by a bunch of dirt on the solar panels, well, then it's all over, right? So I'm just like, okay, I get that. But again, why would you put solar panels on a planet that's supposed to have these massive snowstorms? I'm thinking snow because that's what it looks like on this with this rover on. But if you're going to have these dust storms, what would be the point of that? I don't get it. It's like putting rubber tires on one of these rovers and they're running all over like pointed, jagged rocks. Why would you do that? It just makes no sense. So either they're full of crap about what's really on this planet, and I don't know, and they're just building these things accordingly, and we just don't understand what they're doing, right? James Reagan said, Chris, the Mars vid this week was overloaded with blocks of blur on the top and already huge amount of fake sky and sand. I also agree with with you when you say it's getting so obvious it's sickening. It is. It's just, and I'm glad they actually did it the way they did it, because you can literally see that over the actual top of the mountain where they actually, from that point up, they just blocked the sky right out. Now, somebody had said to me, hey, man, you ought to try to enhance the sky itself. I'm going to actually try that again. I don't know if it will work because of the way it's so densely, like pixelated and blocked over and everything else. I don't think they're going to allow you to do that, but that doesn't mean you can't get lucky and see that, right? Lapis, you said solar panels have the least weight of all energy systems. True. But again, we are to believe, we're led to believe that Mars has a very dim sunlight, okay? So again, if this thing's only supposed to work only for, it's going to just do just a quick science survey, or it's going to just do something very quick, an experiment, and then they don't care if it dies, then I could see them going with the solar panels. If they want it to last longer, I can't see it doing that. But look at Opportunity and Spirit. They lasted for years, right? They're only supposed to be like 30 to 60. No, I think between 30, depending on the rover, I think it was like 30 to 90 days. And that was it. That was supposed to be the lifespan, and it's supposed to just like completely die. So maybe this is in the same boat. I don't know. But I can't understand, because it is small. So that would kind of make sense. Anything much larger, they want to rove around quite a long time, they would probably make it nuclear powered. But again, they're made to believe that the sky is completely dusty all the time. What are the chances of getting strong sunlight to recharge the batteries in this thing? I don't know. Jerry Lahane, I didn't see you sneaking in. You're probably in there for a while. Said, moon, secret space, supposedly joint German, Russia, USA, UK, a few other countries. It wouldn't surprise me. Again, it would be the elite parts of these countries, like military, all getting together, building these things, taking the money from the budget, and just taking anything they need and build it, and there you go. That wouldn't surprise me in the least bit. That could be too, Jerry. You said maybe the solar is a backup. I guess it could be, but again, if let's say it's using a nuclear power plant inside it, which it doesn't seem to be set up for. You can see the way the Curiosity rover and, actually just about, it was only the Perseverance and Curiosity that was nuclear powered. So you can see the power source. It looks like a canister with these heat sinks on them to like basically cool this thing down. So that kind of makes sense, and you don't see it on here. Unless it's a like new technological thing where it's just like a little box type thing inside. I don't know. But I don't know. It just seems a little weird to have something like that on a planet that's supposed to be completely dusty, or at least most of the time. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Long Island, where you been? I said, crap, I missed the whole stream. Yeah, pretty much getting there. Damn, son. Man, can't believe you did that. You also said everything going on with Russia, nobody is reporting on UFOs. Well, we were just talking about that earlier, where somebody had a sighting in the Ukraine airspace. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting regardless. I mean, they're probably just, like I said, just looking at what's going on, looking around. And like I said, if you were the builder of the Tic Tac UFO or anything similar to that, think about it. You can fly around there, check out what's going on, and take off. What's going to touch you? You can move. You're just much faster than any weapon could be shot at you, unless it's a laser. And even then. I ate a pot brownie and forgot about the stream. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Jerry, the other guy, Jerry says, All this money to go to Mars and study rocks? Yeah, it's just dust and rocks. That's all it is. Well, to spend, billions and billions of dollars to not only put the plans together, but put these things together, get the manpower to calculate and do all this stuff, send it up in a rocket to go there, all the fuel and everything else. We got to check out these rocks. They must be really good rocks up there. Must be made of gold. There we go. There's a reason. That's true, Ricardo, right? It's like, yeah, it's my airspace, all right? Anywhere is airspace. So if you fly a UFO, there is no such thing as restricted airspace, pretty much. You're like, yeah, catch me if you can. No, I don't think I've heard that, John. Has anyone listened to the third phase of the Moon's rock band? Oh my God, it's as bad as the NASA artist. Man, that bad, huh? Kyle says, I love our show here and all of the people here. You guys are all awesome. Be proud. Oh, yeah. All good people here. Like I said, and even then, even if we get a little edgy about certain things, like whether it be politics, whatever else, it's still, we're all still humans here. We're still, sharing ideas, and whether everybody agrees with them about whatever topic it may be. It could be about space. It could be about what's going on here on Earth. The thing is, it's like, yeah, you still hold it together, and everybody's pretty much respectful, so which is good. Because, like I said, anytime it comes to anything, like anything politics or religion, it can become heated in a hurry. This is the reason why I really don't like to touch on it, although we have touched on it, but I hate to do it because it just takes up time, and it's just not good. John, you said Chris. The cat's name? Yeah, it's Shadow. She's a big, black, long-haired domestic cat. And she's old. She's up there in age, like a 16 going on. No, yeah, 16 going on 17. Jerry Lehane, he said, Randy Kramer, Secret Space, said spent 17 years on Mars, 7 million inhabitants, but two main competing alien species, species territory disputes, one reptilian, one insectoid. Yeah, I mean, I heard stories about that too. I don't know how true that is. Because here's the thing. Randy seems to be pretty genuine, but what's really weird about it is that you and I couldn't vet any of what he's saying. I mean, I could spew that all day long. Yeah, I took a ride in a secret spacecraft, and I was asked to come along because I worked for Joe Blow's Aerospace, and then I worked with NASA on and off, and then I was sent there, and blah 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 blah, and you wouldn't believe these aliens, and I could make up a whole story, and who's going to be able to say yay or nay? They're just going to go, yeah, you're either going to believe the story or you're going to say, yeah, whatever. How do you know? James Craig, he said, Chris, the Apollo vid today is the top of the range, man. I can see plenty more to what you were pointing to also. Oh, yeah, there's definitely more there. Like I said, I did a brief, full enhancement on that photo, and it's really, really cool. But the main things I was concerned about was the two pieces in the back. But you see what happened with those hills, right? It's like it's manipulated over these objects, and then how do you see something? You got a rear hill, and then you got a hill like this, like it's supposed to be in front of it. You're seeing that view, and there's a hill right here. How do you see through that hill? You can't see through solid ground. So the only way they could be doing that is that's being airbrushed or some kind of manipulation and censoring to try to block out the object. But once you bring all the lines, you can see that thing going right into the other front hillside. It doesn't make any sense. But bring it out, and you can see what I'm talking about. John Schaub, he said, hey guys, gotta go. Sleepy time. It's 11 p.m. now. Thanks, Chris. Great evening. Talking to everyone in Spain next week to see be off radar. Cool. Oh, okay, cool. All right, John, thanks for being here. I appreciate your comments and stuff like that. And just being here with us, and have yourself a good weekend there, right? Steve Garner, he said Russia probably reverse engineered UFOs as well as the U.S. Yeah, because even back then in the Soviet Union, these guys were smart, man. These guys were, top notch, and like I said, they were right here with us. So as far as the United States and Soviet Union, so it would not surprise me, what they really know and what they've reverse engineered. Yeah, Kyle, be careful with that, because he said I'm using talks to text and she gets it wrong sometimes and I'm too lazy to correct it. Yeah, until it says, oh, I saw a yellow duck, and then it says, no, you don't got it. I was like, what? General Meow Putin says, I plan on invading my Ukrainian cat's bed space this evening. They are allowing NATO cats near my bedroom borders. Nice. Marco Bessie said, hi there. Your question was, Chris, what was your best find on the moon? Oh, find yet on the moon? Clearest dome or structure or tower, etc. Please share photos or link with us. Well, I don't have a link, but I could let me see. Well, like I said, I'm going to start to put it on my Discord channel. I'm going to put all of the future enhanced photos on there. In fact, I'll put the one from the moon that was just done today, and then of course the latest one, the Mars one. We'll try to put those up there. We're going to start doing this more. But I mean, I don't know if there's actual favorite, because there's so many of them that are really kind of cool. Like one's like from the Apollo mission looking down, and some of them are on the ground, and some of them you just try to figure out which one's better. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they can be all equally pretty cool. Some of them a little bit better, of course. Yeah, I'd have to look into that, and I can post it up there. I was looking at too, a good eye there, Kenneth Proctor. You said those solar panels look like they are made to flip up and down to dump the dirt off and protect each other. Yeah, that could very well be. Or it does it at night. It closes down, so all the other components don't get cold or anything like that too. I've noticed that. Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting to see. Oh, I've read on that. Goat Squeezy, you said you should check out the Nomo alien story from the Dogon tribe. Yeah, yep. They're their information, and they came from the gods or the people from outer space. And they still do the same thing. They still do that dance and everything for up to this point. But they got, actually, there's more than one story from them. It's pretty cool. General, you said, according to Lacerda, the reptilian historian who contacted a European guide, the cylindrical crafts are reptoids. They also have saucers, according to her. Huh. I have to check that out. Yeah, I know what you meant. You put reptoids after. I know what you meant. You're all right. I know exactly what you meant. Mr. Richard Bunt, what's going on? What is happening? Good to see you in there. We're kind of the tail end of this, but yeah, good to see you in there. I haven't seen that yet, James. You said, Chris, the company Kawasaki has built a robot goat that he can get on, and it will bring you for a ride, and it is stronger and more technically effective looking than a Rover in front of us. Well, I know, anything is. Yeah, Pat, you said Russia has their oil pipeline, America does not. Well, I mean, it's like I said, we get oil from all over the place. I think our export is only like 30% from Russia, if that. I think I've heard anywhere between 10 and 30%, but we get other places to get it. But still, it hurts other countries that are like extremely high, right? And that's what kind of sucks. Like I said, it's the civilians that pay the most. Yeah, I see what you guys are talking about. Ricardo was saying to Leslie Ann, did you notice how the chemtrails lessened off during the last 2 years of COVID? Now they're ramping up again. Yeah, because if you notice there's like another strain in the UK, imagine that. I swear they're delivering this thing by air. It ain't people traveling like on jets. It's actually they're doing this. It just seems like every time, you ever notice that? Oh, it's starting to lessen a little bit. As soon as this war started, or just even prior to the war, it seemed like it was dying off. You didn't hear nothing about COVID. Then somebody said, "Well, there's another one coming out of the UK now." I'm like, "Are you serious right now?" It's like again to keep you in fear, keep you locked down. In fact, we just had these little fast food restaurants like McDonald's and stuff open up. Actually, their lobbies again, where you can literally go down and sit down and eat. And my wife went in there to get something today, and she says it just feels so good. It's like normalcy back. And it's like, what do they do? Oh, here we go again. It's like, have you guys noticed that? Or it's just unreal. It's like, well, people are getting a little too comfortable now. Let's go ahead and put some more fare in. We'll whip a little more fare in. Oh, yeah. Mars Lake, he said, Canada is the main supplier of oil to the U.S. Didn't know they had oil. Oh, yeah. Oh, let me see something. Nick, I see your question there. If you can, just get a hold of me through my email, and I'll see what I can do. Um, I don't know if you know it, but it's marsanomalies at AOL.com. Yeah, I know, it's a little primitive. AOL, who the hell uses AOL? It's an email, as long as it works, right? But I've had that one for years. That's why I still use it. I do have a Gmail. I do have other ones, but this one I've used for years. But yeah, then we'll see what we can do there, right? Then you can tell me what's up with, what you want to do. Pat Owen, you said I do not like the chemtrails at all. Yeah, no kidding. Because we don't know what they're putting in that. There's a lot of crap in there that, chemicals and stuff that could be, it could be the virus itself, folks. Just sprinkle it all over the place. You just breathe it in. James Cragen, thank you very much for your support as usual. He said, Chris, chemtrails COVID, all poison in the sky. Yeah, remember before, this goes back years. Remember people were saying that they were getting like these weird fibers in their skin? You literally had to you pull your skin up, you can peel this stuff out. Almost look like, what do they call that? Cotton candy. It looked like it was like little strands of like these weirdness coming out of your arm. And they were saying it was coming from the chemtrails. And so there was all kinds of weird stuff, chemicals and junk and that stuff. How do we know it's not being, they just put it in one state? Okay, even though the chemtrails everywhere, they can just say, well, we'll start it off in this state. We'll just have it, we'll make it look like the whole family like flown from abroad and came back or whatever. And then all of a sudden, oh, we got it here in the States. How do we know it's not like, this effort between a lot of these countries to just spread it out through the people and just kind of kill off the population even more? We don't know. Yep, there you go, Pat. He said lived in the 70s, 80s, and 90s without chemtrails. I was just fine. You don't see the problems you see today, right? It seems like everything's rampant. It's like I don't care if it's more cancer, more heart disease, more this, more that. It seems like it's exploded. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a lot of additives in foods which don't help. A lot of fast foods which don't help. Just the junk they're putting in this food. You know, and people go, well, I live in my own garden. Yeah, I know, but if they're spraying chemicals in the sky, so unless you got a greenhouse that protects it, I don't know how that can work. Let me see. Let me see. Renee, those two large panels on it, but easy for home. You can put on your food and bear. There you go. Kyle, you said, and that's why people are coming up with cancer these days. Well, it's like I said. Look at the Pfizer. You know, when they finally released their data that they weren't going to release for like 75 or 80 years from now, and the courts forced them to. There's a paragraph this long that would be on your phone. Everything there's a possibility it could happen to you. Everything from kidney failure to this, that, and the other. You know, heart enlargement. You name it. Kind of like what you get with a shot, right? It's like I said. The shot itself, the Pfizer shot, is like it's insane. So, how do we know like the other shots are good as well, right? We don't know. Oh, okay, Nick. You said mine is AOL too. Okay, there you go. Just make sure you put it in the subject, box what it is. So I'll know that it's you because I don't know if you use the same name or not. And Habit Mars, you said the more I look at the video of the rover, the more it looks like a stop motion photography. The lighting keeps changing as the front legs move forward. I know, I've seen that too. Watch it. Right there, boom. Goes dim, starts over, gets a little brighter, then it's super bright right there, then it starts to move. Yeah. Pat, you said, yes, I had that stuff on my skin, in my skin. Yeah, I mean, I've heard people say that. I've never known anybody personally that's had that, but still, it can't be good. Not at all. Yeah, exactly, Kyle. You do not have to have an MIT graduate to know this, or don't have to be one. There you go, Ricardo. Stratospheric aerosol injections, not chemicals. Get your terminology right. Yeah, we kind of wrap it up in one nutshell. You know what I'm saying? Um, Jesse Santiago, you said chemtrails go through my neighborhood constantly all day. It's unbelievable. They even fly at night. You can see them fly they fly low to the ground just like it's kind of like a crop dusting, right? Well, that wouldn't surprise me either. I mean, they could just put it high in the air, just slowly comes down. You go out there, you're breathing in, or it's on your vehicle, your lawn, furniture. I mean, you name it, right? Yep, Long Island, New York, and geoengineering. Absolutely. Tim Houston, what's going on? Good to see you in there too. I don't know if I seen you in there earlier. He said, I like how Russia is GMO free. Well, it should be, right? Oh, okay. Jesse, you said it's in San Francisco. Okay, I got you. Megado. Chris, sometimes my dry humor and sarcasm doesn't come across too well in the chat, but you do a good job of picking up on it. Yeah, I mean, well, I get what you meant. But yeah, that was actually pretty good. Long Island, New York, we sprayed stuff into the clouds from our planes to stall Vietnamese tanks. Yep. There you go. David Vaught. Body snatcher spores, eh? Hey, at this point, who knows? There you go. At least everybody walk around high, Long Island. He said they should spray magic mushroom spores. Yeah, some good shit. Everybody just says, I just want to stay outside from now on. I don't know why they all come in. They look like they want to eat everything out of the house and home. Oh, sorry about that, General. You said that sucks. There's sanctions on Russia. No Russia mail order brides for me. It'll pass. You'll be all right. You'll be okay. Ooh, interesting. What would an alien Earth look like around the star next door? Good question. I just want them to at least, if they nothing more, at least find plant life. It's almost like they don't even want to let that cat out of the bag because they figured, well, if they do, it's going to open up a whole, it's just going to basically open up Pandora's box. Because you're going to be like, okay, if there's a life form there, isn't there microbial life? Isn't there other life, like a circle of life? Like bigger things that eat the insects and things that would eat those things that ate the insects and so on, you know what I mean? So people be like, I don't know if we're ready to do that. So. Ah, Pat, there you go. The old cow patties, huh? Those are the shiznat. There you go. Yeah, you got it, Oliver. Yeah. He said, now I got it. That Rover is planting rows of potatoes. Well, here's the thing, too. How do we know? Because we know that, and I've thought about this before, we know that they're drilling for certain dust and rocks and soil and everything else, and they're putting them into little containers, and of course it seals it. I think it actually analyzes it first, too. And then, of course, then it dumps it into these little vials and then drops them on the ground. Is it possible they could be just digging a hole and planting stuff to see how it grows? Think about that a minute. Or they just spray it with a little chemical, like a little liquid or something like that, to see if it grows and see if it takes off growing. Why wouldn't they do that experiment? Makes perfect sense to me. They can go, hey, look at just what it has in the soil, it's literally growing. How do we know? Has anybody thought about that? That may be a possibility? Let's see. Ace Ventura, what's going on? He said, if Haley's comment and comment, etc., break apart every Perillian, why aren't they destroyed by now? They should have been gone. Just saying. Well, and you're right. It's like, here's the thing. We know when they go around the sun, they obviously give off a tail. It's, basically water vapor. But a lot of times it breaks apart. So you'd think they'd be completely obliterated by now. If they do this how many millions of years ago? I agree with you. You know, you'd think to be history by now. Nick Savage said Costa Rica is a lot closer and friendly. San Jose is a sister city to Gainesville. Hmm. Uh, okay, there we go. Whoops. Ricardo says, aha, so the movie The Martian is in fact self-disclosure as to what the things they want to try. See? Now it's coming to fruition. Now we're figuring it out. But when, like I said, I just find it hard that they wouldn't do that experiment. I mean, if they're doing this kind of stuff on the moon, you know, like they did remember they had the little plants like we talked about earlier, and they had them like different plants. They had different kinds of plants, and of course they died not long after that. But the thing is, some of them, one plant survived for a while, and of course they did have that accident where the tardigrades actually went into the ground. The glass broke and whatever. So, but the thing is, it's like, I think it was like 5 or 6 plants. And I think one of them survived for a while. I don't know if it was a potato, I forget what it was, but it lasted for a little bit longer. It lasted a while. Why, if they're doing that on the moon, why wouldn't they try that on Mars of all places? Of course they did. You can almost guarantee they have. It would make sense. How much would it take to say, hey, let's bring a little packet of seeds and drill a couple holes and just put it into the ground? I mean, it's literally drilling now. So why can't it just literally make a little mechanism, just drop it right down through the drill bit itself, or the tube that it drills through? Just boom, just drill it out, drop it, just push the sand back over, the soil back over it. Spray a little, liquid on it, whatever, or just maybe it does rain a lot, or periodically let it do its thing. Let it take its natural course and see if it grows. James, he said, your question is, Chris, is there any more information about the rover helicopter? I know it made another flight not recently. It was not long ago, rather. And I'm trying to remember. They said I think it went out without a hitch. I know they had issues with it not too long ago. And I think it made another flight. They're not saying anything's wrong with it at this point, I don't believe. But I don't know. I haven't heard a whole lot about it, to be honest with you. Other than not long ago, it made another flight. So, and again, we're talking about solar panels that are like this big on the helicopter. Of course, the helicopter itself is not very big, right? But still, it's like, but there wasn't a whole lot of sun. Oliver Klein, he said, Chris, potatoes do grow up in the high regions like Peru. There are potato border as a tree growing border. They do proof oxygen saturation if it's like a high. Yeah, well, there you go. Like I said, I know, because it's like a basic plant everybody tries to grow anyway, potatoes, stuff like that. Steve Garnham, he said, there is viruses in those comet tails. Well, here's my thing. You have these rocks hitting Earth all the time. How do we know? Because they said that there could be microbial life inside these small rocks that come from these comets or asteroids or whatever. So if one hits Earth and kind of breaks apart, hey, we got the blob now. But it's literally, how do we know that's not some kind of weird contagion and then it's not something new here on Earth? You know, just like it could have seeded life here on Earth from Mars and come over on a rock, and then of course it started, and there you go. Pat only said, why is some poopy pants potato head in charge of the Space Force? Nah, because like I said, he's nothing more than a puppet. And like I said, even the president has to answer to somebody. You know what I mean? It's, again, there's this like pyramid of actual leadership, and at the top there's going to be a group of the elites, if you will, and they have the power to do anything here. So you can bet if there's a bunch of these elites from every country, at least the ones that want to actually go to space and check out the things that are on the moon and Mars and any other planet out there, they just get the money from anywhere they need to. And they have unlimited power, unlimited money to do what they got to do. And we don't even know if they're flying back and forth to these, around the moon and to Mars. And we have no idea. Of course, it's pure speculation because we haven't seen that or heard it. But, what's to stop them if they get the technology? And these people, they're probably heavily into the military or invested in them. So, of course, they're going to tell them, build this, build that. And, of course, we want to be the first ones to go. If you've perfected anti-gravitics, then, yeah, I want to be the first one in the craft. If I die, oh well. You know what I mean? But they said, no, we perfected it. We flew like an animal out into space and came back with it. It lived, it's fine. And it's like, it was only a half hour, an hour trip, and it's back, and it's fine. Okay. So you wouldn't have to worry about eating. You wouldn't have to worry about any of that garbage because you're in this thing for such a short time. Come back, and you're ready to go. So... Well, like I said, like you were just saying, Alan, he said there's 36 stages of security above the president, so he can disclose, nothing. Well, yeah, and I said that. They'll say, I demand that you show me what's going on at these UFO things. You don't have the spot to demand anything. You're nothing. Just pay attention to the little civilians and don't worry about it. And that's what they pretty much tell them. Commander-in-Chief, stop it. Jonathan Waddell, what's going on? Haven't seen you in there. First time I'm seeing you. He said, did China go back on lockdown again? I don't know, because we were just talking about that earlier, that I know there's supposed to be this new strain or something in the UK. I don't know about China. Anybody get the answer to that? If they're back on lockdown? Pat Owen, he said, what about the CMA being discharged from the sun recently? I'm surprised that, and I haven't heard anything about it, Pat. Have you, if it's messing with any of the satellites out there? Because some of these mass ejections are pretty darn large. So I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard anything about it because I really haven't been keeping tab of it. I know I've heard that there have been pretty good sized CMEs. So I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't really have the answer to that because, like I said, I haven't really looked into it. But some of these things are saying they're pretty good sized flares. So I don't know. You would think they would, I know sometimes it'll interfere with them and won't shut them down. Because we've had that. You'd have like either a satellite block out like satellite TV or, and it's in more than one because you got, which one is it again? Well, you got your C band and of course you got your KU bands and stuff like that for regular TV. C band being the uplink, and of course you've got your downlinks. But I know it'll mess with phones as well. You get kind of a blackout of those. But it's always just temporary. But some of these things have been pretty darn big. I've heard of it. I just haven't looked into it. So truthfully, I don't have the answer. David Voigt said, need to know basis, and you don't need to know. That's pretty much what it comes down to. That's what the Men in Black agency tells the POTUS. Oh, no, he just says, you're a peon. Just go talk to the public and act like you know what you're talking about. Oh, oh yeah, I mean, Robert Morgan, he said we would we would detect them because of the satellites pointed out into space. Yeah, I mean, like we get the SOHO satellite looking right at the sun. We can see the flares and everything else, but excuse me, but you can't stop the flares. All they can say is it's like, whatever level CME that it is, and, of course, they just brace for the best, I'm sure they take, like, they adjust the satellites to maybe, if they know it's coming that direction or that part of Earth, maybe they can shut them down temporarily just so, or use a different one so that it doesn't get hit that bad, like another main one and then have a backup one. I don't know. But I'm sure there's some kind of maneuvers that they do with these things to try to protect them. Leslie Ann, you said, Chris, notice internet or other stuff not working probably so many times my phone is going wrong. Yeah, I mean, true. Pat Owen, you said TR-3B spacecraft are the triangular-shaped crafts. Well, that's what most people have been seeing, right? In fact, there's several people who have been talking about the TR-3Bs where you got the triangular craft and stuff like that. But like I said, we've seen that before. We were talking about that, what was it called again? Was it German or Russian? Well, remember we were just talking about it not long ago in one of the live feeds where we were talking about the actual wing. It was supposed to be a glider. They're going to fly up to, I think, 100 miles an hour. Max speed, and I think cruising was 70, somewhere around, roughly around that. And but you see the wing; it looked like a boomerang. And this is back in late 30s. I think it was 1937 to 1943. What are you kidding me? I mean, come on. And they had this technology back then, and of course it wasn't high tech. But as far as the shape-wise, and all they got to do is put the technology into it. Of course, it looked like it was made of balsa wood, but that's not the point. It was supposed to be a glider. It's supposed to be as light as possible, right? Bush Corey, yes. Sorry, oh, got to go early. Start tomorrow. I got to do the same real soon. Great night stream, Chris. All best, brother. Night all. Stay safe. You do the same, Bush Corey. Appreciate you being here, brother. And you have yourself a good night there, right? Okay, Robert, you said China locked down and okay. See, I haven't really been keeping up on that as well. All I heard was lately that there was another virus out there. I don't even know what the hell to even call it. I just got somebody talked about it at work or something like that. I'm like, oh, here we go again. So I don't know. James Cragen said, well, last Wednesday, I don't think they fought it out for due to the change in the Hangout night, but I think Elaine is a current champion. Oh, okay. Let me see. Oh, I didn't know that either. I heard, Jonathan, you were talking to James. He said, did you hear about that our friend, Hello Wonderful People, Antov? I know who he is. He's a good guy. He said on YouTube, child passed away. Ooh, my God, passed recently. Damn. How old is the child, man? Yeah, he seems like a good guy. He's got good videos and everything, man. I hate to hear that. Yeah, Jonathan, yeah, it's devastating. It's putting it mildly. I hate to hear that, man. That just sucks. Nobody wants to ever have to do that, especially a parent. I got 3 kids of my own. I know exactly how that would feel. That would suck. Royally. Wow, 8 weeks. Man. That's sad. Yeah, you hear things like that, and you're just like, you're not aware of it. But then when it hits home, or somebody that you know anyway, and that kind of thing happens, it really sucks. I hate to hear that. So does he actually get off there now? He's just off for a while, or what? Anybody heard what's going on? Because Antov is a good guy. I mean, I've watched plenty of his videos, and seems like a real nice guy. Man. All right, man. Well, with that, wish that was better news than that. But like I said, if you guys want to go ahead and drop these here after the feed, we'll drop the links that I have in these other tabs. And what I'll do is I'll even put the link to the Discord where you guys can go in there and you can jump on there as well. I think we had like 80 or 90 people on there so far. I forget which it is, but we are going to, with the request from you, Ricardo, we're going to try to open up a tab or a page so we can put all of the enhanced photos there so you guys can check them out as well. So I appreciate you asking about that. And I was going to do that before. Remember I told you that? We just hadn't made a page yet, or, we can call it a page, call it what we want, to actually be able to do that. Because, at the request of me, I had the moderator do a couple things. Of course, you guys requested a couple things, and she's done that, so that's awesome. But I'll have to do that and stop putting those on there. So, that's pretty cool. Wouldn't be a bad idea, right? This way everybody can actually check this stuff out themselves. Oh, he did? He made a new one after, wow. I don't know how he does it. But yeah, he does. Jonathan, you said he seems like a truly good guy. He absolutely does. I'm not even familiar with that person, you said, Ricardo. I know about an ancient history researcher passing away. Huh. Yeah, you hate to hear that kind of stuff. James, thank you again for your support, brother. I do appreciate you. He said, Chris, your great vids and hangouts are top of the range, man, and the great comments from all the fantastic people here tonight is proof of that, man. Well, I mean, it's a curiosity thing too, right? No pun intended. It's a curiosity thing. People want, just it could be just a normal hangout. You know that we talk about just about everything too. I don't care what it's about. Like I said, it could be politics, but we try not to get into that. But we could be into talking about freaking cars. We could be talking. But here's the thing: does it have to be a specific thing? We can all hang out and talk about different things. I'm open to that too. Just to be able to hang out and just talk with you guys. It's like you said, it's a change of pace compared to what's going on in the world. So I'm down with that too. You know what I mean? Just be able to just hang out with you guys and not have to listen to the BS. And I'd rather not even turn the TV on, to be honest with you. I'd just rather not do it. Just rather chill. But yeah. But I appreciate you, James, as always. Whoops. I appreciate it, Ricardo. He said, thanks, Chris. I fully support the Discord server community we are building and will help in any way possible. Okay, we can do that. I do appreciate you. And like I said, Pete Ferrero says, good night, Chris and Chad. Yeah, I mean, we're just going to just chill. Marina says, you really unite people here. Well, I mean, people come here anyway because they just, just very, well, there's a lot of friends here that know each other as well. And I think that's extremely, it's awesome because people get together and just, they'll talk amongst themselves, how you doing? It seems like everybody just genuinely cares about each other. And that's what makes it more important. It's not so much the anomalies that we're seeing, but it's just, it turned out to be like more of a family than it is just talking about space and stuff like that. We can touch on certain things like we were talking. Like, hey, what's the cat's name? Stuff like that. I know there's a lot of cat people here. There's a lot of dog people here. So it's just, in other words, when it comes down to it, we're all human beings here. And that's what makes it awesome. It's like sitting in a giant room talking with each other, like I've said many times before. And it's just nice to be able to hang out. It really is. And, I've had a very busy week, and I'm trying to get it I'm trying to figure the ways I can make videos without my job interfering, because like I said, the hours have changed. So I'm trying to, like I said, I just got a video out just before going live today, and I was like barely squeaked that out. And then I had the other one prior to that, right? So I'm trying to figure a way to, like, perfect timing to be able to still get these things out. And, you know, like I said, I'd rather just drop the job and just do this again, but it just doesn't pay enough. You know what I mean? It'd be one thing if it did be like, yeah, you know what I mean? But still, it's still cool to be able to come on here and just chat it up. Just awesome. Jason Cox says, good day from Australia. Well, I hope you're doing all right there. Down under, I hope everything's cool. Love, quality, and peace, Leslie Ann says. Like I said, it's all good people here, Marina. It's just like, you know, that's what makes the channel, is the people. You know what I mean? Because without the people, without you folks, it's just no channel, right? And that goes for any channel. So, yeah, I'm just fortunate to have good people. Like I said, I've been in some of these chat rooms. Yeah, you don't want any part of that. Most of them are pretty decent, don't get me wrong, and they get along pretty well. And then some of them just get way out of control, you know what I'm saying? Even if they're just laughing it up, they just totally distract the room where nobody can, you know, they're not even paying attention to some of the hosts. I've seen some of the hosts, I'm going, oh my God, how does this guy even get on? But yeah, it's always a lot of fun, right? But yeah, if you guys don't mind, if you haven't already hit the thumbs up, please do so. I do appreciate it. You can even drop a comment down there. You know, like I said, it's all part of the algorithm for YouTube. You know, even if it's a, hey, we'd love to hang out. But if you haven't given the thumbs up, please do so. Spread the word. Tell everybody about the channel and get everybody on here. Get more subs on here. More the merrier, as far as I'm concerned, right? That's what it comes down to. But I want to let everybody go. Thanks for everybody being here. I do appreciate you. Nothing but love for all of you, and I do mean that. You know, like I said, been a busy week for me. I'm sure some of you have had it as well. And I got to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. It sucks. But, you know, I don't care. It is what it is. You know, life goes on. We got to do what we got to do, right? But always a pleasure just being here with you guys. So everybody stay safe. Have a good weekend there. And we'll talk soon. Pretty simple there, right? Anyway, I'll catch you all later. Much love to you all.